Shy.
All righty, folks, we are ready for some Daytona qualifying, the home place beer 500. Already out there doing some qualifying laps. Tate Lytle has already completed his. It's one lap qualifying today, and we have a lot of drivers to go about trying to complete it here. We have another driver out on the field, on the track right now. I believe that's David Westergreen for Outlaw Racing in the number 9. Joining me here today is Chris Wright, and I believe Rich is here. He's getting his mic set up. He's going to be the one that will be hosting this qualifying setup. Both Chris and I will be qualifying later on. Chris, are you with me?
Yeah, I've got you, Gerald. Just checking out qualifying. Like I said, Tate's already made his lap in a 49.62. We got Westergreen coming over here to complete his here as we speak. Based on practice, I think a 62 is pretty good.
62 is pretty good. Having Tate Lytle going out first is wow. That's not that far off from Westergreen. Only almost about a hundredth of a second away. But yeah, as far as what we were seeing out there, that's a pretty good lap laid down by Tate Lytle, and it's good to have Tate Lytle go out there and kind of set the precedence of kind of what the times are going to be looking out there. I'd be pretty happy if that was you or I, Chris.
Yeah, I thought a low 60 might get the pull, but based on that, I think we're going to see some guys get into the 50s, maybe even the 40s. I'm not real sure. We didn't do a whole lot of practice for this, but based on some of the stuff I was seeing, I thought that 62 right there might be the pull time, but now, I'm not so sure. Or Tate just is that good and said, I'm going to go out here first and win the thing.
Here's another driver out right now, the 22 of Garrison Hogan. He did really well on Monday night's Daytona race for the what would you call that? Is that the what they name it? The Open or whatever it was for it was some kind of shootout that we did on Monday.
But
yes, thank you. I couldn't remember the name. The Clash there. Garrison Hogan was very, very quick in that race. So look to see him in the Gatorade Duels later on in the race here to do pretty well in those races as well as he's starting his first lap here. So if anybody was wondering exactly how the qualifying is working here today, essentially you have one lap to go about completing a qualifying run. They will let the drivers know. The driver goes up onto the racetrack, goes around to start his lap, and then the next time around he gets to the start-finish line will be the ending of his lap. One lap qualifying. There is two types of drivers in this race. There's going to be the drivers that are locked in, like Chris and I here. We're both going to be qualifying later on, but we are both locked into the show. Drivers that will have the open on the side of their name. So I don't know if you guys have it on here being shown on your end, but on our end we can see the drivers that are technically open. The drivers that are listed as open are the drivers that are trying to qualify themselves into the race. Both Tate Lytle, Hogan, and Westergreen, and as we say that, Hogan goes up 62. To the pole position so far.
That lap was just disqualified. He went below the yellow line. Chad just made that.
And he only had it by thousandths of a second, but that's gonna be rough. For an open driver, he's gonna have to start dead last in either Gatorade Duel number 1 or 2. So going back to how the qualifying is gonna proceed here. After we're done with qualifying, they're gonna split the qualifying group into 2. Drivers that qualified in even numbers and drivers that have qualified in odd numbers. The even numbers are going to start in Gatorade Duel number 2, and odd is going to be Gatorade Duel number 1. From those races, we will have more drivers lock themselves in and essentially set the position for the Daytona 500 that we will be having next weekend or next Wednesday. So drivers are looking to try to lock themselves in the open format here in qualifying, but also if they are unable to, as Hogan will be one of those, they will have a shot in the Gatorade Duels later on tonight.
Yeah, and it will get split up. The open guys will get split up. There won't be more open guys in one race than the other. He's going to split those up evenly based on how qualifying breaks down. So make it more fair. It wouldn't be fair for all the open guys to be in one race. Might be exciting, but
Definitely exciting. I think it's going to be exciting regardless because we're going to have quite a few drivers that are not going to be able to make the race. And you would know something a little bit like that, that scenario there, wouldn't you, Chris, from last year?
yeah, I missed the Daytona 500, finishing second in the duel to an open car. It was pretty crazy. It was well stacked field, just like tonight. 20 guys are going to miss out on this. There's going to be 20 guys that do not make this race. So hopefully they stick it out and keep coming back and maybe wait. And I missed the race, but I ended up getting the last second entry into the race because some guys couldn't make it, so it worked out.
When Rich is able to get back on here, he'll be able to explain to everyone how many drivers, unless if you know, Chris, I don't, but how many drivers in the qualifying will be able to lock themselves in as far as the open drivers go, and
Just
how many
one from qualifying.
Just one from qualifying. How many in the duels?
One from each duel, the highest finishing one in each duel. 3 guys. There's going to be about, I think it's 18 guys going for 3 spots.
18 guys going for 3 spots. You see Scott Haney. Good to see Scott Haney back out there with Do Good Motorsports. Have not seen him in a race car in a few years. Happy to see that number 3 go around the racetrack once again here. Scott Haney's going to try to see if he can lay down a good lap here. One driver will be able to lock themselves in. I believe they're going to allow all the open drivers to go first. Is that how they have it set up here?
Yeah, all the open guys go first to try to level the playing field for the open guys to have the same track conditions, because the track will change as we go. It'll get later in the day, clouds will roll in and out, so Chad tries to make it as fair as he can for the open guys to go out at the same time.
Well, we know Hogan's going to end up losing his qualifying position. He's going to have to start at the back.
New pole sitter right there.
Look at that. We have a new guy on top, Scott Haney, coming back with a vengeance. Those do-good cars were saying, those drivers like Goodman and a few of them were saying that they brought some pieces here today for qualifying. So look forward to seeing how they stack up at the end of all this.
Yeah, and I think we got a driver here in the waiting room, Garrison Hogan. We saw his lap get disallowed. Do we got time? You want to talk to Garrison there, Gerald?
Yeah, let's see. Let's see if he wants to talk to us. Let's see here. We're going to move him on up into the broadcast booth. Garrison Hogan, you got it?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, man, that's got to hurt. You knew that you had a really good qualifying lap there, though Scott Haney was able to beat you there. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure you just heard that your lap is going to be disallowed, and you're going to have to start in the back of one of these dual races here. Walk us through what the ruling was, why you got that lap disallowed.
Well, first it came down to the fact that I was in NIS fixed since 5 o'clock, and it ended at like 7. So that was a fun time. So I came in here, cranked up the car, literally was told to hit the button and to go out on the track ASAP. And I went out there and I was trying to ask questions like, okay, guys, what are the rules and da-da-da-da. And yeah. So it came down to the trial. We're going for the lap. Everybody was like, oh, wait, don't go below. And I went below.
Well, those things happen. Luckily for you, it wouldn't have really mattered for you. And luckily we're at Daytona where you can be able to work your way up. You had a little bit of experience in the Monday night race. How much does that prove to help you with trying to go out here to try to get into this, knowing that you have to be the top running open driver in your dual race?
Yeah, I'm a very seasoned plate racer and iRacer in general, so I'm not scared about the duel or anything like that. So it's honestly just going to be for me just making it to the end, and if I can make it to the end, then I'll make the rest happen.
All right, I like the confidence, don't you, Chris?
Yeah, make it to the end, will make the rest happen. Garrison's a good driver. He's very smart out here, so Garrison, prepared to check up and miss some wrecks and do and whatnot. So we'll let you go get prepared to that duel. Are there any sponsors you want to thank, shout-outs you want to give here as the first session of the season is going on?
I mean, I have Yahoo on the card this year, so hopefully it looks nice and shiny on the broadcast here. And I mean, JD designed the car, so it's going to be a banker. So I'd like to thank him for painting the car. It's beautiful. It came out nice, and I'm fueled up this year, so thanks to Fueled Up for giving me a slot and giving me an opportunity to run for this championship this year.
Well, you don't necessarily have to win your Gatorade duel, but Chris will tell you, you just about have to.
I had to win
It's the
mine, baby.
safest.
And Garrison was an open guy in that same race. Garrison missed the race too, the same year I did. You're
Yeah,
both
it
there. Like
was.
David took her right here, going to the top of the board.
Yeah, and Chris is right. Like that same year, I missed. So
And you
it's
finished
not
third,
so
right?
funny.
You
Yeah,
finished right behind me.
yeah, and I finished in like third or fourth. So I mean, it is what it is. But hey, I'm the defending 500 champion. We'll see how it goes. I guess it's a big storyline that you can follow in the race.
Absolutely welcome. We'll see in the Gatorade duels if it's 1 or 2. We'll find out at the end of qualifying here. But look to see you try to work your way up through the back of the pack.
Yeah, and I'll try to put on the show when I can. So just keep an eye on that purple car.
Absolutely. We'll keep an eye on the purple car, folks. We got a few more drivers going out. We got Daniel Martinez for Fueled Up Racing going out. We've already got, this will be the 10th driver out here, so we have a general idea of kind of what times are going to be looked at as far as really quick. Right now, Tooker, I mean, he did a really good lap there. He did. He's the only one with a 61.
50s. We just got one in the 50s.
I was just about to say it. It looks like the times were starting to go down, and as I say that, Martinez was able to get into the first position so far. But here comes Lethan Joyner with Stay Tuned Esports. Right now, you'd have to feel pretty good knowing that the times, the last few drivers out have been running the fastest time. So maybe the track is just set up really good for qualifying right now for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Looking at it, I'm seeing lap times that I've not been able to run yet. So I'm hoping that it's the track and not just me being that far off.
Yeah. What so far for you? What number are you going out on there, Chris?
I think the 50th car to roll.
Oh, okay. I'm like the 23rd, I believe. So I'm not going to be too far away, but I'm hoping that it continues to get a little bit quicker. But I'm hoping that it's not going to just start to stall out here as driver goes into the second position. It's definitely picking up another driver in the 50s as he goes slot right in behind Martinez there in the 59.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see the duels. Tonight we're going to get the chance to race with half the field. Gerald, we might be in the same race. We might be in different races, get to race with some guys and some open guys. And it's going to be exciting tonight. It's no pressure really for us. It's one race, and it doesn't really matter where you start. Of course, you want to start up at the front. I want to go out and be the fastest car in qualifying. I want to win the duel, but, our season's not at stake like some of these open guys are.
Now, there's about 5 more open cars left to go, but even though we say that, we still have to worry about these open drivers. You and I both know that the open drivers have nothing to lose themselves at the end of these things. It's either get in or they go home. And although we may feel happy with a top 5, there may be 2 or 3 other guys in that top 5 that may not be satisfied with that and may have to perform a Hail Mary maneuver to try to get themselves in. So even though we say it's not that big of an issue for us, we still have to be on our toes for tonight's race, I believe.
Yeah, the perfect rule for me is I'm leading the race tonight with 1 to go, with an open guy right behind me, and then a teammate, and that open guy's got to be content to sit there, knowing if he pulls out to try to win the race, he could lose that open spot. So,
well, this year you and I are both on the same team for Mountain Man Motorsports. Just so happens both the announcers are racing for the same team here, but I don't think that was necessarily something that was set up. It just so happens to be the situation. But yeah, it looks like the times still are in favor of the drivers going out right now. Jaden Rasmus, I think another driver. We're gonna have to look at this 07. I think he has proved in the last few races at these super speedways he's pretty good at these qualifying. So we're gonna have a good idea if the track is still going fast here.
ooh, he fell off just a little bit.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he dropped off quite a bit, actually. We have a total of, I believe, 2 more open drivers left to go. 3 more open drivers left to go. So very quickly here, Martinez will know if he's good or if he's going to have to sweat it out. Any of these drivers would be happy just to not have to worry about the Gatorade duel.
And one thing about tonight too, Gerald, that we've kind of got to think about, there are points to be awarded tonight if you finish in the top 10 to 1. So it'll be exciting for some points there at the end.
Yeah, it acts like a stage, kind of how NASCAR does nowadays. The top 10 in each duel get awarded points as you would normally see in a stage in NASCAR, where first gets 10 points and 10th gets 1 point and so forth. But yeah, we also have to look at for this qualifying, it's just like NASCAR. The top two positions are locked into the spot. First and second will be locked into first and second.
I believe Cody Harrington is not here to make his run.
Now, I believe that's two drivers left. Here comes Vincent Isabella and his 82.
Getting up to speed is the most important part of this lap as well. What you're seeing right here, you blend up, you want to get a good launch, not a whole lot of wheel spin. Get up to speed as fast as you can, making the lap out as long as you can. And then get the fourth gear or fifth gear. I don't know, what some guys are doing. Some people have talked about fifth. Some have talked about fourth, so we'll see.
Last year I did fifth and it didn't work out for me. I think this year we're staying in fourth here. But yeah, Vincent Isabella, good run up to the flag here. So this will start his lap right now. So now Martinez has two drivers to worry about. Vincent Isabella here, and then the next one I believe is James. I don't know.
Cash James, he's an ARCA guy.
Cash James. Ah, okay.
He also runs him and Bobby run Pit Pass Network together.
So yeah, so Martinez is looking at two drivers right now that look to try to overthrow him in that pole position.
Vincent's got a good line here. Maybe not quite as low as you'd want him to be, but he's still close enough to where it's solid.
We'll need to have a word with Rish that our speed is not in miles per hour. What country are we in right now, Rish? There we go. Yep, it doesn't look like Vincent was able to get there. He looks like he was able to get up to fifth, but that leaves only one driver left for the opens to determine who will be locked in.
And I will say, I don't think Cash did a great job getting through the gears. It did not look like he was quite as fast at the start-finish line as Vincent was. Now, he could prove me wrong and make me look really stupid here if he comes through and is the fastest guy.
We're about to find out. He's going down the back straightaway right now. Will this be the one to take over the pole position from Martinez and lock himself in, or will Martinez have a little bit of early celebrations here? At the line. He didn't do too bad, but not able to get it. Looks like Martinez will be able to lock in that open position and will be locked into the race. So good job for Daniel Martinez in the 83.
Yeah, now we're into the guys that are locked in and just qualifying for a spot, pit selection, front row.
I mean, there's still there's like we stated here for Robert Hill Jr. for 21 Savage. I mean, there's still that front row to lock themselves in. It's still there's still definitely a lot on the line. That is a pride thing to be able to have the perfect lap, essentially being able to run that one perfect lap. We say it's easy, but somehow one person is able to do it better than anybody else, and so there's still that bragging rights of being able to have that pole position underneath your belt. And considering how they did it this year for the Daytona race, I mean, qualifying for pole positions do have a meaning now, don't they, Chris?
I'm not sure. Oh, to get into the class for next season?
The class, yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
sorry
yeah,
about that. The class,
pole.
yeah. So, I mean, a pole locks you in for the class for next season. It's not just for nothing.
Gerald, I'd hate to interrupt the party here. You're on deck, man. You got to go qualify.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot. I was counting cars that have qualified, and I have forgotten that some of the cars have not did not show up for today.
Yeah, you
Well,
better
good
get
luck,
out there,
Gerald.
get
Go
ready.
good run. I think we'll keep
I'll
Goody
stay
here
on
for
here
a
with you.
while.
I'll stay here. I did this last season, and I qualified near dead last, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, I think you got a fast hot rod out there. It looks like she's pretty quick in that number 31 Chevrolet for Mountain Man Motorsports.
Yeah, but those do good cars with Scott Haney look pretty good. Looked really good. He was not able to get it, but very good lap for a driver that hasn't been in it in a long time.
Hey, I have to share some beef Haney has with you. He attempted the Daytona 500 last year, and he also made a couple, I think, in and out in the truck series. But hopefully we'll see Haney out here a little bit more. It's always good to see, as you said earlier, that 3-car back out on track.
And so is that a sign of what's to come here for the rest of your team?
I mean, myself excluded, maybe. I don't know, but we have Carpenter coming up in a little bit here too, so we'll see what he's got under that hood. And I know Jeff Green's usually pretty good here qualifying. He's won a pole a couple seasons ago. It might have been a year ago now that he got the pole. So we're looking forward to seeing what he can do, and let's see what old Rucky Ducky can do once he hits the line here.
Let's ride a new paint scheme here. Sirius XM on the car. It's just a 60. Still the open guys at the front, but I think Gerald's going to do it right here. Gerald's about to run a 40.
I'll stay in here for this lap here and see what's going on. You're not showing.
Is it not the Barbie car?
It's the Barbie car, but he's not showing it. Yeah, there we go. We got to get in on that. Be sure to check it out. I think, what is it in theaters? It's on the quarter panel there, July 21st.
I think it's this weekend.
Yeah. Tomorrow, right? Or Friday, right?
Friday. Get your tickets now and see Ryan Gosling. And who's playing Barbie? Is it Margot Robbie, I think?
That is correct.
All right. Go check it out. Gerald, I heard he got advanced tickets, and maybe he'll take you on a date if he gets the pole here for the Daytona 500.
Well, I will tell you this, Gerald, based on what I saw at the start-finish line, you're going to have a shot at this pole.
Oh, I hope so. I don't usually do too well. I can't do worse than I did last year, staying in fifth gear. So we'll see how it is here at the line.
He carried good speed through the corner. I think he's gonna have a good lap.
Not bad. Not bad. I'll take that. That's not decent. That's not a bad lap.
You out-qualified the car runner, right?
Yeah, that's true, isn't it?
Ooh, we got the Land Shark Kynan Jones out on the racetrack. Got a charter here in the Cup Series. Cool to see him from down under in Australia running full time this season.
Now, I was told this guy was a teammate of Gerald and I's, but we don't drive Fords. So what's going on here?
Yeah, we'll have to ask Hill. Well, Hill's a little busy doing race control right now for Chad, but
I can't be switching over to a Ford. They got 15 less horsepower on the sim.
so he's in Australia. What time is it right now over in Australia? Is he doing this like at super early in the morning, or is this? It's got to be super early in the morning.
I'm not sure, but I imagine it is not 7:26 p.m. in Australia. So he had to set his alarm to get up and qualify, and he qualifies in at a 63.
It would be 9 a.m. right now. Talk about taking your coffee and then doing a Daytona race for him. That's impressive. Here goes David Carpenter for Do Good. We'll see how those Do Good engines are, if they're gonna outpace me here.
What is this? Is this Ronster Wraps? Is that what it says?
I can't read it. The brown makes it a little hard with the green. Yep, you say it. Ronster Wraps?
Ronster Wraps.
Ronster Wraps. Okay. Interesting. Green rims on it is a bold choice.
It looks fast, though, right? Looks great.
Definitely no one's taking your rims at the racetrack if you have those types. I think people are just leaving those alone.
Oh, he just beat you there, Gerald.
Oh, he did, didn't he? Oh, that was close. Yeah, he beat me by 0.003 of a second. How dare he?
Do good horsepower, baby.
0.003 of a second. It's the green rims, wasn't it? It was the green rim.
Yeah, they're perfectly legal. Nothing wrong with them. How does it feel?
Illegal.
How does it feel to get beat by a do good driver? The old Ronster Raps. Yeah, go check him out. He does some good work on that. You got it.
What are Ronster Raps? Talk to us about this.
That's the guy who paints all of Carpenter's schemes, and he does a pretty good job. I ran one for painted by him last season for Aaron Landeman. Unfortunately, we lost him a couple months back, and yeah. So anyway. Yeah, Ronster Raps, go check him out. I think he's on Twitter, and I can't remember. We'd have to pull Dave to get that Twitter handle up. Actually, I'm going to pull that up right now while you guys are seeing Personette race on the racetrack right now.
Personette.
He tied David Carpenter. Oh, this isn't good. I'm getting pushed back further and further here.
You're going to be back in my territory by the end of it.
Those clouds need to go away, and it needs to get hot.
You know, if you want to find Ronster Raps on Twitter, it's just at Ronster Raps. It's not that complicated, I guess.
Not that complicated.
Nope, not at all. Here's old Rory Collins on the racetrack.
Beer Cloud Racing. What a name.
I love it.
Many different sponsors. Skull Bandit there on the hood.
Surprisingly, no beer sponsor.
I think right on the left rear, isn't that like a German beer?
The Mars on there?
I see.
Or Schweppes. Oh, yeah. I don't know if they make alcohol, but I always enjoyed their ginger ale. Schweppes? I can't remember how to say it, but very good ginger ale. You can mix that with some, maybe not beer, but some other adult beverages.
Not going to be happy with that run. That 64 is well down the list there.
Yeah, jinxed him. The sun's out now. Ethan Stanley out on the track. He's got a new paint job. I'm not sure what's on the side. What is that?
Is that Twitter? Oh, it's Blue Egg. Blue Egg marketing.
Oh, it's Blue Egg.
He's a new hire for Lake Norman. That's my replacement over there at Lake Norman.
So
did you make sure? Did you take all the copper out of the? I was just about to say, did you take all the copper out of the car? Just rip them out of the.
Blue Egg Marketing, the marketing department for small businesses, a proud premier sponsor of the Elite Racing Leagues.
Well, there we go.
Rich.
Right
Your mic is working good now.
Hey, there we go. Happy to join you guys.
It's a great looking car, too. I did my best to destroy as many cars for Lake Norman as I could last season.
Not good enough. Looks like he's got a really good run coming here.
Not quite as good as you, though.
No. I think anybody that I out qualified will definitely be disappointed at that point. With how bad my season went last season.
Now we got Joe out here.
Say his last name.
Is it McAdory?
That's
McAdory.
Joe, man. That's Joe. Everybody knows him as Joe.
It's Joe McAdory for 312 Motorsports. I wonder if that's. I don't know. I sometimes question the names. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like phone number area code.
Yeah.
What if that's Alabama? He's got the Alabama gang logo on the hood of his Camaro.
Yeah, the Alabama gang.
Where's he from?
He's
Just
not
says
carrying as much
USA.
speed out of 3 though.
What's he going up there?
Not good. Not good.
14.
Martinez is looking really good right now. He's got to be very, very happy because I don't see anyone really getting down that far, but we still got a couple fast guys. They're going to be coming out here.
Well, we've got 3 open guys leading the way right now, which is pretty incredible in just the pace that they're showing. So they knew they had to race their way in or qualify their way in. They certainly showed up with pace over a single lap here. Question for Joyner and Wadsworth, of course, is going to be they'll lead their duels, or at least Joyner will lead his duel as things stand right now, but needs to stay up there by the time they finish.
Jonathan Cutlip, a guy that came out of nowhere in the last couple seasons and is super fast.
Super
This
fast
guy
and the
super fast.
1920 heavyweight champion of the world, old Johnny Cutlip. He's carrying some decent speed. It's maybe not great. Might want a little bit more.
Were you being
Yeah,
fro? He's
wants
a
more.
heavy
He
work.
wants a lot more.
It's like 1920. No.
1920. No, I just think he has an old timey sounding name. All
Yeah,
Johnny.
I was about to
I do like that. Yeah.
He's gonna punch him in the mouth here in the duels.
That 90-year-old gentleman did a really good job qualifying.
We got Ryan Scholl out here now.
Little Eagle Racing.
The team that no one wants to drive for, right?
The team
even-
that
Not even Ryan.
they wish they were Aggressive Eagle Racing.
I always thought that it was a sister team to Aggressive Eagle, and I was sadly mistaken.
They're pigeons.
This is the former 90 Motorsports team for those who are familiar with the classics here in the Elite Racing Leagues.
I think we should just do what Goody did, and just every driver that comes out, we just give them a different occupation. That's not at all what their occupation is. Ryan Scholl, the Secretary of Wyoming.
All right, Jesse.
Secretary
Ryan.
He's not going to
State
be happy with that. He's going to send this car back to Wyoming and get rebuilt for the
Yeah.
kind of speed.
Jesse Rasmus, a lion tamer at heart,
Oh,
is coming
he's
around.
one of the best world-renowned lion tamer. And see if he can tame the lion here at Daytona. And that scheme, I gotta say, boys, that's probably one of the most beautiful cars that's probably gonna dome this racetrack here tonight.
Absolutely.
Love
I
that walking
do.
scheme.
I hear Toyota
like this
Camry
monster.
is Japanese for lion, so he's just trying to tame that right now.
Oh,
Is it really?
I did not know that.
I cannot.
I don't think it-
Are you making
We're
this up?
lying very well.
We lied so well, we
Gerald-
got duped.
Gerald, I think
We
you're
got
too
duped in our
gullible.
own lie. We got
Well,
duped in our own lie.
Second time today.
Milwaukee, French for lion.
No, did you guys ever see Wayne's World? Or are you guys too young for that?
No, I've seen Wayne's World.
I can't remember what they say. Alice Cooper, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. Yeah.
I can't remember what it means. I totally forgot. Maybe someone in the comments could share, but
Where did he come out?
13, not
mid-
too bad.
mid-
13? No, not bad.
Would be a
here's old
six.
high, wide, and handsome Dylan Thomas up next.
Oh, for Mountain Man Motorsports.
Is it? That's a teammate of ours?
Yeah, that's
Hey, I'm learning as I go. I'm learning my teammates right here in qualifying.
the only man that can taste colors is Dylan Thomas. He's doing a good job out there.
I
Got
see.
some,
Cutting in and out.
some issues
Got some
there.
ignition switch problems out there.
Oh.
Well, boys,
got a
I'm gonna
beer
I'm gonna
sponsor.
get ready for my qualifying lap. Prepare to be disappointed. Curb your expectations, and we'll see.
We'll go to a commercial break.
Yeah, right during your lap, we'll hit a commercial break.
Perfect. All right, see you boys later.
Big Eddie.
Hunter Smith said that the name of the team named after the creek that goes through IMS Little Eagle.
That sounds like a
I
Chad
think-
Frankenfield type team.
I think we're joined by
Yeah.
the boxing champion now.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? Let's see. I don't remember. Where'd you qualify here?
Not very well.
Not very well. Well,
No.
unfortunately, that happened. But unfortunately for you, that does not determine your qualifying position for the Daytona 500. How you feeling out there?
It's gonna be a bit of a toss-up. We're gonna be coming from the back, so hopefully we can just keep it clean and just slowly make our way up to the front.
Now, do you have any in your team that are open drivers for the Gatorade Duel?
Actually, I have two, but one seems to have locked himself in with Daniel Martinez. I'm super happy for him. And
Very good.
I have a
Now,
bunch
is
of
it
friends-
the goal of the team? Is it the goal of the team to try to get the other driver in?
Yeah, we're gonna try to get Garrison in there. He's gonna be qualifying a little bit ahead of me. Hopefully, we're in the same duel and we can work together. But we're gonna try to get as many of us in as possible, just to have some fun with the next Wednesday.
Well, we got Harrison out here qualifying in the DoorDash machine right now. I believe, is that one of your ex-teammates there, John?
Yeah, he's on a new team now. Still hoping he does well. Gonna be interesting to see how he fits in with this new team, because
So what happened to getting kicked off the team? How did you manage that? Was there a vote? Was it Survivor style?
no, it's just we felt like it was time to try different things. That's more of a question for Trey as far as
Oh, so
Wow,
you're just
Chris,
like, hey,
you're
it wasn't
really
my
pushing it.
decision. Yeah,
well,
trying to start a
no,
little bit of drama and see if he can,
no.
comes right out and says, Harrison just wasn't getting it done, so we kicked him to the curb.
No, we love Harry. It's just we're trying to get the best out of him, and we're hoping that he can accomplish that here pretty soon because he's a really good driver. Just we want him to show you guys that 'cause he's definitely capable.
Well, now we got Goody. Here we go.
Yeah.
He was not really anticipating any speed out of his machine.
Goody's a sleeper pick for play tracks. He's one of those guys that's just always quietly up there. He knows how to take care of it, so.
Well, right now he's zigzagging.
Is this Mrs. Goody's Goodies?
I don't know. I can't see it.
Yes,
from
it
there.
is.
Yeah, Mrs. Goody's Goodies.
You can find them on Facebook, on Twitter. They do handmade items there. So look it up, Mrs. Goody's Goodies. I bet they'll do it for you. Little sponsor plug. I used to have to read that sponsor plug there.
Oh, Chris, you won't like this. Nick Massey says that you got the boot at Lake Norman due to performance issues.
Oh, I seem to remember them begging on their hands and knees as I was walking out the door.
To go to Mountain
Chris,
Man Motorsports.
We're kind of satellite teammates now, huh?
Yeah, yeah, we are.
Wait, well, I'm a part of his team, so I didn't know about this through the lines.
Yeah, we're accepted into Pro Edge now.
So this was the door for me to get into Pro Edge?
Yes, it was. And
I
now
think
Matthew
everything's connected to Pro
I
Edge
feel
at this
dirty.
point.
I feel so dirty.
We're growing and growing.
It's worth it if we win, right? It's all worth it.
Oh boy. I don't know if I can be affiliated with the Pro Edge team there. As we say that, Pro Edge is out there on the track right now with Matthew Weeks. I believe the defending champion right now.
Yes, sir.
He's looking pretty smooth. Let's see where this puts him.
Matthew
Former
Weeks
500
been
winner
in
as well.
Yeah, Matthew Weeks just an awesome run there at the end of the championship. Did a really good job of being able to get it done, and he is right now set up for, where did he qualify? 20. Ooh, not good.
He's set up for the race. That's what that is.
Yeah, that thing's low to the ground.
Yeah.
They got a lot of drag on that car, right?
Yeah,
Gonna be great in the draft. Great pusher. Great leader.
It's built for the race.
Nick Indelicato for Shift Esports out on the track now.
That's what I'm gonna be saying about my car.
Is this the Giants? Talking Giants. Okay. Guessing that's a podcast that talks about how they're going to go 8-8 every year.
Yeah. Checks out.
See if he can do better than his football team right here and put it up towards the front.
Oh boy, man, you're taking shots.
Let's see. It'd be great if he's right in the middle of the pack here. Oh, great run there. P8.
Oh, right behind me.
You still that high up? Nice.
I'm pretty happy with my qualifying run there, Chris. I'm still slotted in 7th position. That's not too bad.
Yeah, it's still pretty good. I think the track heated up a little bit. Hopefully these clouds come back over before I get to go.
I never saw where Goody qualified. We never mentioned it, but I feel like we have to.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good, but we still have to.
I wasn't going to say it. We talked about him on his lap and talked about the sponsor and whatnot, but I wasn't going to throw him under the bus at that 63 that he ran.
Well, where did he qualify? Where is he at right now?
P25 right now.
P25. I think we got Matthew Weeks in the waiting room. We want to bring him up too.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get it going on. We got some Pro Edge up here. Let's get some more.
Well, we needed more Pro Edge, but here's Matthew Weeks. We were just talking about you. Really good run at the end of the season last time we were out, and got the championship. Not a great qualifying lap here tonight, but still got a lot to look forward to. Good plate racer. What's the goal for tonight?
I knew I wasn't going to qualify good, man. I never did these tracks. My goal was just to try to win a duel or get a good solid, finish spot in the duel so I can start towards the front in the 500.
Well, you got enough teammates out there and enough people to push. Yeah, I believe you got Tooker that's going to be trying to get his way in. Who else for Pro Edge is still trying to get themselves in?
I think it's just Tate and Tooker.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I'm just hoping they're in different duels, you know.
Well, Matt, you called it.
What?
We were going to be starting in the back.
I told you. I knew
Now we
it,
got
man.
Brent Jones out here, and he is way up the racetrack. I think. I don't
Yeah,
think
he's-
very good at all.
Yeah, he's running. He is running the high line.
Well, I'll
He
go ahead
still
and
beat
step out.
Cutler in weeks though.
He's
Oh
still
yeah,
beat
dude,
Weeks.
probably will.
Were you in 5th gear Weeks?
No, I was in 4th. Maybe I was. I don't know.
I
Crap.
think you
Dude.
might have been in 5th gear.
Probably. Dan told me to do something, and I tried it that way, and I was like, dude, never again will I qualify like that.
Yeah, it didn't exactly work for me either. I just hear it looks like he has a smooth line. It should be quick, and then I look over at the time and it's 19th. I'm like, that's tragic.
Yeah, I should have ran some laps like that in practice, but I didn't. It was just like I ran in the pack, just in the draft, and then once qualifying started, just that like that.
I'm looking for
We got
certs
Justin
tonight.
Fortner out here. I believe that's car is sponsored by Indianapolis. I think.
Well, if you remember, their team name is named after the river that goes through Indianapolis. Little Eagle. So I wouldn't be surprised by that. Here we go. Here we got Mark Rebellis here for Covered Bridge Racing. I don't know where all these team names are coming from. I don't remember half these team names ever existing. But Covered Bridge Racing.
Yeah, seems like there's always a new team or new faces every season showing up.
When is Pro Edge gonna implode? That's why I want to know. When is it gonna implode and everyone goes their separate ways?
Probably, I mean, never, dude. I mean, I've been friends with Tooker and Ethan for like 10 years, dude. I've known them for so long.
And Pro Edge has been since Elite it started. There's been a Pro Edge. I mean, I guess you guys are like, I guess you guys would want to be considered like the what team in real life? What Joe Gibbs of NASCAR to Elite?
Probably since we were driving Toyotas, you know.
We've been racing each other for what, since 2012?
Yeah, dude, a long time.
Kyle Hanshaw for Kyle Hanshaw Racing is out on the track right now. That's pretty easy to
That's
understand.
Team name. I like
That's
that.
a pretty easy to understand team name. Self-funded.
But even on the nights we don't race, we play other games as well together. So we know we're always doing stuff together.
Yeah, these guys are always in a chat with each other. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, dude. We've always been in the same chat for years. You know, it's just how we're
I'm not
all
convinced you
good
guys
friends.
log out of that chat. I'm convinced you just live your
Some of us
lives
don't.
just in that chat with each other.
Yep. Pretty much, dude.
Nick Delicato is in here with us, joining the fun of like 10 broadcasters right now. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing good, but after those comments about the Giants, I don't know if I could take it anymore, man.
Oof.
Think I didn't hear
Oof.
those.
I didn't say nothing.
I said
No,
it for your
yeah.
benefit.
You know, I finished. You know, you said 8-8. Guess where we queued? 8. So hopefully it sticks. You know.
I just hope to qualify for duel number 1 so I can go to bed.
I respect that.
Actually, I got mead that I have to go about bottling tonight. So
This
I'm
is,
surprised
a new look for
Dan
Tyler
has
Fode
been
here.
oh yeah, look at that. Eye wraps.
Very,
That's-
very
that's an awesome-
professional looking scheme. Not to
That
say
looks
the,
very similar to his teammates, I believe.
yeah.
I
Huh.
didn't really look at it Monday night because I was just trying to block them. That's all I was trying to keep them behind me, so I didn't see the side of it. And everyone told me they didn't like it, but it looks good. I like the colors.
I'm too used to him being the the Blue Egg marketing guy. Now it's who was running that scheme? Was that Ethan Stanley?
Yeah, his teammate's
Yeah.
running, who has his same paint job, but just in a different color format.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Running.
Hey, people over there. I went to jump up and block him. I didn't even know it was him. And once he hit me, and I look in my mirror, and I was like, "Oh, that's Fody."
Wait, can anyone hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got
Alex,
you. We got
how are you,
Alexander
man?
Nedd
Okay.
in the booth now, folks. We're
I
having a party up
just
here during
wanted to
Daytona
make
500
sure, yeah.
qualifying.
Yeah, this is quite the party for qualifying, right?
That's one.
Chris not trying to tell us, but he's on track right now.
He thought he could sneak through, but we caught him.
He could
That Raising
sneak through.
Cane's car.
Oh,
That's
you
right.
need to change his team name.
Oh, I do.
It says Lake Norman Motorsports.
Oh, Dan, of course Fody. Of course Fody get the pole. What a lap, Fody.
Oh my
Fody,
gosh!
yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
failed to
didn't see
mention
that
that.
happening.
Oh wow!
I'm honestly surprised.
That came out of
by how long
nowhere.
That's
by
what
how
I was
Dan's
about to
lap is
say.
holding up.
Because usually it gets better the later we're in the session, and it held on that long.
Yeah.
I was,
I'm kind
Yeah,
of
very.
curious to see if we'll start
Chris
running
Wright,
quicker lap times, or if
P4.
it was just a.
it's
Wow,
just Fody
Chris.
being Fody.
The speeds are picking up here. Michael
Yeah,
Hossack is
just
out now.
Fourth.
I think I threw away my shot at the pool. I hit the chip a little bit there when I left pit road in first gear.
You were 100th away from the pole, so man.
We'll take that. We're pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
Now, is this for the duels that are happening tonight?
Yep.
Correct.
Indeed.
Yes.
All right.
The first two guys locked themselves in
Okay.
in that starting position. So first and second of the Daytona 500 based off the qualifying. But everyone else from third on back, their spots are determined by their finishing positions in the Gatorade duels.
The duels. Okay.
And Martinez was an open car, but he locked himself in being the fastest open car in qualifying. So
Correct.
Okay. And we are doing the duels tonight.
yes,
Sir.
Yes.
Michael
And I
Hossack
really
had a great
like-
run there.
I'm not gonna lie. I have been on vacation. I have no idea what's
Fourth
going on.
for
You're
Hossack.
good, man. You're good. Glad to have
Fourth
you
for
back.
Hossack there.
Right here, boys.
Especially-
Yes, this is going to be Fody's teammate here, which did not follow the paint scheme program of his teammates. Josh Robin, he
That's
is
the man
probably
that is
one of the
looking,
best. He's one of
looking
the
paint
best.
scheme.
One of the best qualifiers at a super speedway. This man puts a lot of time into qualifying. Whenever I was teammates with him, he puts a lot of effort into it. We're gonna see how good of a lap Fody did.
I like that throwback 8 Budweiser car. That is pretty neat.
Yeah, I really liked him getting up through the gears, getting up to speed. That was as fast as anybody's done it. That was the fastest speed to start the lap.
We'll see what his timing is like as he comes across the line. Will it be this lap or the next lap?
This time through, just
Yeah, he
across
just
his-
missed it.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Missed it.
Dang.
But Lake Norman on the front row.
And here's another Lake Norman car. New arrival to Lake Norman.
They
Wow.
got to change that one too. That says stay tuned. It's
That's Dave's problem.
not okay.
It's all part of preseason, right? Just gotta work
yeah.
out the pullers and you're good to go.
I'm not gonna lie, it's weird seeing Crump in a Chevy now. I've seen him in the Ford for so long.
I'm used to him in a Toyota.
I just want to point out that they had to replace me with two drivers. They had to go get Scott Crump and Ethan Stanley.
Well, they did the Toyota one season in one series, and I was like, why? Then they literally went back to Ford.
What's the number we're looking at this season of Scott Crump and Chad Fringerfield incidents together?
Probably about 6. I'll say
Six in the
Yeah.
season, just
Yeah.
in the cup, or is it for all three series?
I would say just in the cup.
Okay.
That
I'm-
seems fair.
New pool sitter. Wow, Lake
Seems
Norman
pretty fair.
all 1, 2,
I'm
3.
gonna go the opposite on that and say that they both clean it up towards each other.
They just start wrecking other people.
No, I think
Those
the
two,
T class-
those two cannot. They're not going to. It would require one of them realizing that they were wrong, and they should change how they race. And neither one of those are going to do that. So I'm with Weeks. I think that this rivalry goes down until the world implodes.
Oh, okay.
I'm
It's
gonna say
kinda-
three.
In my opinion, they're kind of like-minded race-wise. They just gotta take. It's never like I'm gonna give a little bit here, you know. So it's kind of hard for them not to get into each other because they just want to take from from each other at the same time.
But hey, that's why we tune in.
Oh,
we
yeah.
as a fan want to see that type of action. So
Here comes Trey Holmes to complete his lap of 60.
He's
Slots
7.
right in there with
he'll
me.
be good for 7th fastest.
You're in a solid lap of 6:05.
Justin Vandermeer.
I mean, just look
Watch
at
out.
the times there. Top 10. Obviously, unfortunately, the tower doesn't
gotten
show
faster.
past.
He ran a good lap
second.
last 500, so watch out for Justin here. Pretty smooth.
So, Matt, what are we doing, man?
I don't know, man. It's weird being in the booth.
Hey, our doors
Are
always
some of
open.
y'all
Come on up.
gonna stay for Duel 1?
But yeah, I told Robert I would like to come in and do an ARCA race maybe. And see how it
Next
goes.
week, come on, Daytona. It'd be fun.
Daytona? Alright. Sounds good.
We're making deals here tonight, too.
Well, after this, we only have 5 drivers left to go for qualifying, and then we'll have a little bit of an intermission
Do
for
we have any
for
Elite
us
Women
to.
cars left? Because they all of a sudden went 1, 2, 3, and it's
Right?
We have a Pro Edge. We have Chad Frankenfield still left to go out. Jeff
Johnny
Green,
Thomas.
who is definitely one to watch. Jeff Green,
Yeah.
Caleb Thompson, a driver for my team, and then Johnny Thomas, who very good super
Yep.
speedway racer as well.
I'm gonna
Another
make
good
my way
play
out
right
of
Jeff
here.
just got a pretty good run to the line too, right about what Josh Robin did.
I've appreciated hanging out and doing the interview with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. You can
Give
stop
them
there.
hell. I believe.
Shout out your sponsors. If you're leaving, shout your sponsors out. Tell us about it.
Yeah.
I actually don't have any sponsors right now, but I'd like to shout out my team and friends with Fueled Up and Pro Edge and Mountain Man and everyone involved. It's going to be a fun season, just racing as hard as we can with each other. Hopefully,
I can't wait to talk to you in Victory Lane.
That is-
It's going to happen this
Yeah.
year.
John's
That is
going to
gonna
get
be
him
a
a win
huge
this
goal.
season. He's going to get him a win this season.
yeah. I'm going to try as hard as I can to be the last one interviewed in a race at some point.
Hey, and I'm just going to say this right now. You might not have gotten a win last season, but you were one of the championship 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is something I am proud to accomplish in my rookie campaign, to be one of the 4 fighting for it, and 2 of the 3 races are in the series.
And here's y'all's teammate, Ethan Burrell. We're going to see a pull
Yeah.
run right here out of Ethan. Oh, I don't think so. That was pretty slow to the gate there.
Ooh, you
I
never
do
know,
like
they could
his
bring
new
it back.
scheme.
I'm really wondering what's going on with these Pro Edge drivers all starting
Man,
in the
we-
back of this.
we
They have
never-
got some gearing stuff. This is some Toyota BS that we
Yeah,
got going
dude.
on.
We never qualify good at play
This-
tracks, but we
This,
race
this
good.
is some. This is
It's-
definitely some Joe Gibbs shenanigans going on where they qualify in the back and then like they have like special hooks in their bumpers where all 4 of them line up and they go like 300 miles per hour.
Based on his gate there, I'll be surprised if this is in the top 30. Like, it's
Well,
going to
Jeff-
take an incredible
Jeff-
lap to overcome
Jeff
the
Green
gate.
got 5th, so Jeff Green shows that there's still speed on the track with a good qualifying run.
He recovered. Wow.
Oh,
He was
Not-
not even
not
at
bad.
180 at the line. Yeah.
Yeah,
that-
qualified me.
The rest of the lap must have been really good. Maybe build up some speed there with a little bit slow gate.
Here comes Chad Frankenfield, crowd favorite.
The new paint scheme. This is all. Is he trying to look like Dale?
All black. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's cheaper to just get it back to black at the end of the races.
It's really hard to see the.
It
Sponsors
starts
on the
off. It starts off black, but at the end of the race, it's a multitude of different colors of other people.
Kicking tires. Looks like sponsor
What
there for
is
that.
on his? Is that what is on his hood?
Yeah,
Kicking
he might
tires,
even have
yeah.
it dressed. We can't really see.
That
it.
is really hard to see there, Chad. It's not even like a nice black. I don't even know what kind of black he went with.
I think he needs to hit up Justin.
It's like a brown black. I don't
Hit
even
up
know
JD
what.
Designs, he throws some crispy schemes together. Or John, JD Designs, dude. They
It might pop at night.
It's popping, but I don't know if it's gonna pop at night.
Ooh,
Where
P28.
where'd he qualify? Ooh, not great.
I think
It had everything to do with his paint job, though.
Just
Yeah.
2 more cars now to run, and this is a pretty one. How about this? The Manscaped car with Johnny Thomas.
who
Dude,
is a
is it
Daytona
the
500 winner.
This is
of
probably my
championship.
favorite scheme out of the entire league. I love this scheme.
Just like Manscaped, it is very clean shaven. It is looking
Oh
good.
yeah.
Yes. He ran it last season, dude. I love this scheme.
Johnny won the Open to get into the Clash the other night.
Yes, he did. Came
Nearly won
P2
the
in the
Clash.
Clash itself.
Dude, yeah, and almost
It's no Barbie car, but it's pretty nice.
And Johnny will tell you, typically he doesn't qualify well, but he's a guy that's always around.
Yes.
At the
Well,
500th mile.
This is my theory with Johnny Thomas. He's such a nice guy that everyone does not mind having, if they find him in front of him, to push him. So, I think that's a big helpfulness to his chances at these super speedways. That when he's in front of you, it's like, well, might as
And
well
he's going to
push him.
qualify well here. He's going to
Yeah,
put it up
he's
there towards the
six.
front.
Yeah,
I
six.
always work with him because me, I feel like I'm a decent plate racer. I've won a couple, but I feel like if we both survive, me and him and Fody, and there's a couple other that are there racing for the win at the end of these things.
Is this our last qualifier?
Last qualifier, Caleb Thompson for Aggressive Eagle with Aggressive Eagle sponsorship. I gotta say, that's a pretty nice paint job too.
Yep, I like it.
But we're gonna find out if it's gonna be a 1, 2, 3 for your old teammates there, Chris.
Yeah, I got a set of matches. I'm going to go pay a visit over there to Lake Norman tonight.
You did not pull enough wires out of the cars when
Wait,
you
what?
left.
You're not on Lake Norman?
No, I'm not on Lake Norman. We're affiliated now.
You're on Mountain Man. See, dude, everything's been going on. I don't know.
See, I didn't know Pro Edge and Mountain Man were affiliated. I feel like I've been working with the wrong people. I don't know. At the line, Caleb Thompson, where'd he come in at?
P31.
Ooh, not good. P31.
So it's all Lake Norman. Scott Crump, Tyler Fody, front row.
Scott Crump and Tyler Ford are on the front row for the Daytona 500.
Next week.
Those are names, though, that I'm not surprised.
See what duels are going to happen
I'm gonna
here.
get the whole one.
I might hang out for a minute. If y'all
Yeah.
don't mind.
And then I'll have it set to launch right away. You can join the practice.
Now we wait and see where we all got to get positioned here with the open cars. Going to have to get flipped around to make sure they're equally
Yep.
split.
Yeah, I qualified 16th. I'm hoping they move someone around.
Yeah,
Really want to get
Are
the
any
first,
of you
first
guys
Gatorade duels.
go homers?
Nope.
Oh, none of us here.
All right.
We pay the
That's
The
gotta
money.
take a little bit of the edge off.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
You just want to come out of here. My main thing, if I was driving, I don't want to cause any major big wrecks and see what I can learn for the Daytona 500.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's what I'm going to go in this duel. It's just going to be full send, see what I can do, know what I can.
I have a feeling we're going to learn how to crash.
Oh, dude. The heat of the day next week, we're going to crash a lot with how slippery this car gets on the outside and how pushes come.
Yeah, it's not the push behind you, it's the push behind the guy behind you that really starts to mess up everything.
Yeah.
And it's the checkups. I last Daytona, I got turned on lap 1 by checkups, and I did that in the Clash. And I really hope I just don't get turned on lap 1. That's my goal.
Same, dude. I want to be there at the end. I want to get number 2. I want to be the first one to get in the second one of the 500 because everyone else has done everything before me. So I got to be the first.
Well,
think-
hey, you're
are we
the
gonna switch screens
previous
here?
champion. That's gotta feel good. How is that going into this season, knowing that you've done this before?
Feels good, you know. It's just time to win bigger races. I want to win the Southern 500. That's the one I want. I have that one circled this season.
Didn't do very good in the Erskine Darlington race.
No, I choked that away big time, dude. Like I was so mad and then wrecked on the restart, and then I fenced myself later in the race on the restart. But that was my first time driving that car at that track, so it was just all a learning thing. I didn't know the outside was that bad on the restart. I'm so used to this car where you can just hammer the gas on the outside and just go.
He only took out a couple championship contenders,
Yeah.
so it was okay. Good use of time.
Hey, they wrecked before I wrecked them anyway, you know. So
Oh, I'm pretty sure they wreck enough anyhow in in that race. So yeah, it is what it is.
They had the
Well,
first big restart wreck, and then I was the second one.
well, what are we doing here, Rish? Are you going to go to an intermission here, and then everyone will just have to tune back in once we get the Gatorade Duels started here? I think
Absolutely.
that'd probably be the best way to do it.
Yep, that's the plan there, folks. So for you all watching at home, we'll go to a quick intermission here. Should get rolling again around 8:10 Eastern time. So that's about 8 or so minutes from now. We're gonna load up the next lobby, get our first duel rolling, and we'll be back with you guys very shortly. Want to thank our drivers who qualified today for joining us. Gerald Campbell, Chris Wright for holding it down in the booth while I was figuring out some issues behind the scenes. But Alexander, Nedd, and myself will bring you guys the action in just a little bit. So, with all that, we will see you guys all in just a few minutes.
Welcome everyone to another exciting season here at the Virtual World Center of Racing Daytona. That can only mean one thing. We are getting ready to set the stage for the Daytona 500 next week. I'm joined in the booth my one good friend there, Rashab. It's so good to have you back.
Hey, Alex, it's always great to be in the booth with you, calling these races, and what a way to get the season started off, right? We got the duels, we've got Daytona. There's really no better way to do it. So looking forward to it. We had a great time in qualifying, had a bunch of drivers up here in the booth with us, just having a good time. But now I think is where maybe it gets a little bit more serious as the night goes on, and these guys are obviously now fighting for their starting position in the 500, and for a select few, they're fighting for their chance to race in the 500 next week.
Yeah, we'll be able to detail that here, but 60 laps, 2 races, get what you can here for the Daytona 500. That is what we expect as cars are getting on the track, I believe.
Absolutely, yeah. We should be seeing in about 1 minute, we'll have the session advance. So right now, cars getting that last little bit of practice in out on the racetrack. We'll see a few of them just working their way around. We've got a little bit of a pack right now operating. They're, again, just getting a little bit of experience to help out. Gerald Campbell there, you see ahead of Michael Goodman, ahead of, I believe that's Richard Hines there in the 87. So again,
If
be
you're
seeing this.
just joining the front row for the Daytona 500, brought up by Lake Norman Racing, Scott Crump and Tyler Fody.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great qualifying by Lake Norman Motorsports, locking out the top 3 spots. Scott Crump, Tyler Fody, Josh Robin, and then Daniel Martinez qualified 4th, the first of the open drivers, so that locked him into the show.
Oh!
Ooh, so we got a little bit of an incident there during practice.
Hopefully we won't see that during the race. Don't know what happened there, but I think they're a bit careless, or they can be. I mean, it's practice.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
But for the likes of the rest of the open drivers outside of Daniel Martinez, they're going to have to race their way into the event. So each duel, the top finishing driver, open driver from that duel, will earn their spot into the 500. So we'll keep you guys up to date on who those are. As warm-up just finishing up now, we'll get the drivers gridded up and be rolling off here in just a moment's time.
Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry about that.
No worries there. So as we advance here, we'll get cars onto the grid in just a brief moment. Excited for this upcoming season here. Matthew Weeks, your defending series champion. He will, is he in this duel? He'll be in duel number 2, it appears.
So he might, he was mentioning he might join in the booth with us for duel 1.
Yeah, he might do that, and we actually do have him waiting through here, so we can feel free to bring him in here and get his thoughts. Joining us, analyst now in the booth, Matthew Weeks, buddy. You're racing
last
duel
year's
number 2.
Champion,
of course. Ready to go and learn some stuff up here in the booth, watching duel number 1, trying to gain some tips and tricks for what to do in your race.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
All right. Well, this is going to be a fun one, I think, to follow.
What do you think we are going to see? What was the vibe out there? We saw kind of the end of that hectic practice you guys had. What's the vibe tonight?
I feel like it's going to be a little chill. Most of these guys are probably going to ride back and try, especially the open guys want to make it to the end so they can try to make the race. But some of these guys, they're going to be going hard, wanting to get a good starting spot, probably try to win to start the season off right. But I know a lot of guys are racing. We haven't raced in like a month, so I'm sure guys are going to be antsy to get racing.
What is your strategy? And I don't mean to put you on the spot, but are you going to be working with your teammates a lot in that second duel? Were you able to see the rundown of who you're going to be able to work with?
Duel 2 is going to be spicy with all the people in there. I'm going to try my best. My main goal is I want to win, dude. I mean, I'm here to win races. So If I'm there, I'm gonna go for the win. I'm gonna try to help as much as I can, but I can't pick favorites because I have Tate and Tooker both in that duel. So it's like y'all just gotta race it out. And I'm here to race too.
You're the first driver whose last name has not been Lytle to win the series title in the last first driver in the last 3 seasons, I think.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight years of Pro Edge winning a Cup championship, man.
They seem to be on a roll.
And Ethan's here all this season, so he's gonna be a contender. He's gonna be up front. He's gonna be winning races. So
Good to see him back full time in the Cup Series. That'll be exciting. It's been a little while, I feel like, since we've seen that 37 running full time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the start of 2023A, he had a job where he would get home too late to race, and he could only race Sunday nights and part-time a Wednesday night. And then he had a job change, and ever since then he's been racing. So it's glad to have him back.
This is new. Are they getting their tachometer rating here? I've never.
Chad is doing a little test for the 500 to see if you don't get disqualified or black flag from doing this, because apparently we always have an issue with finding our stalls on the first green flag stop of the 500. So this is just to see if it works.
Oh, okay.
But in my opinion, if you know where you start, that's your stall. Wherever you qualify, that is your stall in the race. So
can definitely get a little bit confusing when you got 43 stalls, though. I'm
Yeah.
sure, and on a a caution pit stop, I'm sure it gets a little bit chaotic. I've
know
definitely missed my pit box at Daytona before. It's
the
easy thing to
racing
do.
strategy for this race: 60 laps. It will require 1 green flag pit stop. The fuel window about 38 to 42 laps, depending on how you drive.
And they probably won't put no tires. Tires don't wear that much here, so it'll probably just be a gas and go if it goes green.
Keep an eye out on that then, as drivers lined up 2 by 2, lights off on the pace car. Should be going green this time by Scott Crump leading Josh Robin. Front row start for Lake Norman Motorsports.
A lot to talk about for 2023 Season A. We'll see if the same can be said about 2023 Season B.
Absolutely.
Some of these guys have had a month and a half off. I know I've enjoyed my break, but I'm ready to watch some fabulous racing. That is the JoinAPS.com Cup Series here. Pace car is off. The field in the hands of Scott Crump. Duel 1 about to be underway. The green flag is waving. We're racing at Daytona.
Yeah, really good start there for the 83 of Daniel Martinez, right onto the back bumper there of the 90 of Scott Crump, straight away trying to get that push on the initial start, and that's worked so far, as that inside line just a nose ahead of the outside. But quickly, the 91 of Johnny Thomas getting up to the back of Josh Robin. They're now slightly ahead as we head onto the back straightaway, as Josh Robin leads from Scott Crump.
Josh Robin has that outside lane working for him. We'll see who leads lap 1. But now Johnny Thomas, a little bit off center. The 83 was pushing that 91.
You got to be careful, because just a little touch on them corners, man, you can hook the car.
And that 6 car, Justin Wadsworth, the one we want to keep an eye out for. That's one of our open drivers tonight. So keep an eye out on what he'll be up to early on in this race. Of course, a number of other open drivers throughout the order. We'll keep you guys updated on who is the lead of that group.
Open
right
car,
now it
yes.
is Wadsworth running in that 5th position.
1 car below the yellow line. Don't know if he wanted to necessarily be there, but
Campbell bailing out
that?
there. Gerald Campbell bailing out by the looks of it.
He didn't like what he's seen. He didn't like how the pushes looked, and he bailed. And Johnny, man, he's so good at these tracks.
You can get a sense of that vibe early on there, right, Matthew? If you don't like something going on ahead.
if you're experienced racing at these tracks and you just see how things are moving, you're just like, I don't want no part of this, man. The wreck is going to happen, and it will come.
3 wide for second place.
Dave
Lake
Carpenter.
Norman trying to keep the rest of the field at bay.
And Ethan's here to win, dude. He told me in the chat earlier he's here to win, so you got to watch Ethan Burrell. He's going to put some moves on tonight.
This from, we saw Dave Carpenter work his way up and then kind of got shuffled to that third outside lane down the back straightaway. So he's going to move a couple of spots back now as Vincent Isabella, second car in that top lane, now becomes the lead of the open cars not locked in. So, again, that position's going to change a lot there. Right now it's Vincent Isabella versus Wadworth, our next
He's
open
up
driver.
8 positions there. So not a bad start for Vincent Isabella.
Not at all, as we've got some shuffling a little bit further down.
And I misspoke earlier. It's 4 out of 50 laps. Normally it's 60, but tonight it looks like we're all. Is that right? We are running 50 laps.
Yeah, that is correct. It's
Okay.
been reduced by 10 laps here, so a little bit quicker. Again, means that, like what Matthew was saying earlier, it looks like it'll be just a splash and go. Not sure if that would be any different to the normal the normal duel anyways, but maybe just shortening it up a little bit just to shorten the overall show for the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the 60 lapper, you can still just do a splash and go. I mean, because you can get like 42 laps to a tank in these cars if you go all the way.
That outside line beginning to show a little bit of an advantage there. We are seeing now 2 cars poke out of the draft.
Yeah, really great push there from Vince Isabella on the outside lane to clear both of them ahead of Johnny Thomas on the bottom. They now have that option to either stick with Carpenter up top or cover off Thomas on the bottom. They decide to stick with Carpenter, and that's going to give Thomas, it should give Thomas a run, though actually haven't quite been able to get that organization all the way together on the bottom. Finally starts to look like that push from Wadworth is paying off on the 91, but even then, he's still more or less even with Dave Carpenter, the third car in line on that top lane. So clear up front for Robin and Isabella. Again, through the corners, maybe changes a little bit, but off the back straightaway and through the tri-oval, definitely advantage to the outside lane. And that is something we did hear drivers talking about a little bit during the shootout that took place on Monday. Matthew, you were involved in that race. Heard that the cars were running a little bit light, that they would probably end up generally transferring towards the top. We didn't see that in that race, but most drivers expected, especially in the open, it happened as well. This could become a single file type race where, again, you have drivers single file moving towards the top of the racetrack just because that's naturally where the car wants to go.
You can get the bottom working. You just got to have the first 3 guys really working together to get the bottom working. But it's hard because the side draft on the right side of these cars is just so strong. So the outside usually does prevail with the little side draft, and it just kills all that momentum on the bottom.
Oh, so on the back of the pack, they are mixing things up as we have a lane change. Their 4th place.
But the goal is
Ethan Burrell
if you
trying
get
to
3
lead
cars,
that charge.
Sorry, Alex.
Go ahead.
But if you can get 3 cars close, like you have at Johnny getting on Burrell's back bumper, if that 6th car can just get a little bit closer, not push, but get really close, they can really gain the speed. And Johnny, if he can lock on to Ethan Burrell, you can really tandem with these cars for about a lap and a half. But it's never 2 cars. It's always 3 or more cars where you're going to get the best runs.
And you can see there the 91 of Johnny Thomas is pretty much glued to the bumper of Ethan Burrell, and yet they're just not quite able to make up the ground. You do need that additional car there from Wadsworth or even Daniel Martinez there in the bottom. And despite the fact that they're maybe slightly more organized than that top lane, I think just advantage there for the top right now. Robin and Isabella seem hooked up. Carpenter not too far behind them either.
Let's also not forget the 8 and the 91. They just have fast cars. I mean,
absolutely.
This 91 car was able to pick up 8 spots. He's one of our biggest movers. The other biggest mover I'm shown is Ryan Scholl, who's up 12 positions. So,
Yeah, huge opening laps there for Schold, up 13 now to the 4th spot. Running that outside line, that 4th car in line on the outside. And again, we just keep seeing them extend that lead over this bottom lane. They're trying to make it work. You've got these guys, I mean, right up against each other on the bottom, but just doesn't seem like that's where the car is most comfortable on this track. I think if you want to at least have track position at this point in the race, you want to find your way, find a spot on that top lane, and maybe just sit for a little while. But guys hanging with it on the bottom, trying to make something work. We'll see how that pans out throughout this, but you could also be putting yourself at risk. We have seen as, maybe a little bit of a check up there for
tapped
Ryan.
the wall there.
Yeah.
And you saw what it did to his momentum. He's able to carry on, but
we
it
have
did
seen
certainly slow that outside lane.
Absolutely. We have seen some cars getting loose off of 2 and 4, though, while running the bottom lane. So, again, another thing to keep an eye out for these guys who are trying to make this bottom line work.
He's pulled up to 2nd place now. He's getting closer.
Yeah, good run right now from Burrell. They have started to get really hooked up on the bottom. Trying to see where they're lining up right now. Back alongside with Dave Carpenter, but still haven't quite been able to get to the point of Isabella or Robin. And it feels like those two still have the choice to block that inside line if they so feel like it. But again, I think they're in the perfect spot right now. I don't know if that inside line has enough manpower to really challenge that top line.
Plus, you got to think of the storyline. The 92 is racing to get in. Vincent Isabella not locked into next week's Daytona 500. He wants nothing more than to finish right where he is. So I don't expect him to poke out. Some lap traffic up ahead. That could get things spicy. Rissa. I remember when we would call, it seemed like lap traffic was always a factor.
Oh, always. And that's still going to be something you have to watch out for here. As we watch a little bit of a shift there. That's Scott Crump working his way to the bottom line, taking over that lead spot on the bottom from Ethan Burrell. And a good little run he's got here. Of course, the question is, once things balance out once again, I think he's going to be back in the same spot as an aggressive push off of 4 from Burrell. They're trying as hard as they possibly can to just get even with the 71. It's just not quite happening if you want to get to the front here on the bottom line. Whoa, that is very shaky there on the bottom.
There. Yeah. You saw the 37 try to give it all to the 90. And keep in mind, Scott Crump, he was the pole setter. You see them go by an ailing Chris Wright.
Oh, there goes the race.
Trouble! There it is, right in turn 3. Couple of cars are around. Oh my goodness. Lap traffic probably played a factor in that one. I just saw the 42 get turned, and we have our first caution flag of the night here. Let's see what happened.
Figure out. Oh, it was the 42, yeah, Chris Wright. Looks like was the one who kind of kicked it off there. See if we can get a
why did he get sideways or just come down across the field?
Caleb just got to his left rear a little bit.
That, or do you think netcode?
So here's this. Here's that 42 car.
And right after the pink car.
Caleb just didn't get down to the middle fast enough. Wasn't ready for how slow he was.
Yeah. And that's going to take out a good 10 cars in turn 3.
Yeah, Justin Fortner, Jaden Rasmus, David Westergreen, Kyle Hanshaw looks like he got caught up in it in the 46.
These cars are tanks, though. If you don't have a lot of damage and you're still up to power, and you get it all fixed, you can still go out there and race with these boys.
And Daytona is big enough that you're not going to lose a lot of time fixing damage because the track is so big.
Exactly.
So I don't know if you guys heard, this is Mark Murphy, race control. I don't know if you guys heard the call there. That was judged to be net code between the 31 and the
Okay.
42. Quite a bit of space there. So no further action on either car.
All right. So net code, and that's what I was thinking, because that 42 just turned dead to the left right there.
Yeah, it was obviously close between that the 42 and I forget who that was trying to get by him, but yeah, I mean, definitely thought it could have been netcode, so totally makes sense there. Thanks for that call there, Mark.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately brings out the first caution of the night here, lap 15. Vince Isabella, great pit stop.
That should, if everybody comes down pit road, that'll take the green flag strategy out of it.
Absolutely.
It'll be kind of close.
Fuel only.
If someone leads the entire stint, they might run out.
Oh.
It'll be close.
True. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Well, 35 laps.
Yeah, you're right. Probably. Yeah.
They should be able to make that.
Oh yeah. My wheel's blocking. I couldn't see what lap.
All right, well, we'll be right back here with the restart. You're watching the first duel of the night under caution for the first time here at Daytona.
Well, folks, while we've got the caution out, let's let you know about some of our premier sponsors here at the Elite Racing Network. And let's start out with Blue Egg Marketing, the marketing department for small businesses. If you're a small business owner, then Blue Egg Marketing is your absolute biggest fan. They'll help your business punch above its weight class. Blue Egg Marketing has been a proud premier sponsor for the Elite Racing Network for, man, it's coming up on, I think now 2 years. So happy to have them on board as always. Also want to shout out Worldwide Technology Raceway, a motorsport racing facility in Madison, Illinois, close to the Gateway Arch. It features a 1.25 mile oval that hosts NASCAR Cup and Truck Series races, as well as an open wheel series that we're not allowed to mention by name anymore. They also have a 2-mile infield road course used by Super Tour Trans Am, SCCA, and Porsche Club of America. On site, they also have a 1/4 mile drag strip that hosts the annual NHRA Midwest Nationals event. The Kartplex as well is housed at the Worldwide Technology Raceway Complex, which is a state-of-the-art karting facility. Lastly, we want to thank TA Services. For over 36 years, TA Services has been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing and fulfillment, and cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. TA Services moves what matters to you. Lights out on the pace car as we've got everybody now 2 wide, getting ready to go back to green. Vincent Isabella on the outside lane leads Ethan Burrell. Leading that inside, you got Gerald Campbell in that bright pink Barbie car on the outside, and Dave Carpenter there on the inside. When it comes to our open drivers, take a quick look and see who exactly is going to be our lead driver from that group. And it looks like we do a quick check through here. It's actually, I believe we have to go quite some ways down the order before we get to, is it Richard Hines is our first open driver? Or outside of Vincent Isabella, of course. So I'll have to do
Alrighty, here we go. We're back. Looks like pace car is off, and lap 17 about to be in the books. Green flag back out. Vincent Isabella leads him down to green. He is the highest of our go-homers, right?
He is. So, and I believe that the next closest to him is going to be Richard Hines down in. I see him down in 18th. I'm not too sure that's correct. I'm gonna have to flip back through some of the order here and make sure I don't have. I do have Cash James, who's ahead of Richard Hines, is another one of those open drivers.
Okay.
I believe there's a few others, but yeah, as of right now, Vincent Isabella not really close to any other open drivers.
and has the best view of the house right now, currently leading in that outside lane.
Absolutely, and that's the ideal spot to be right now. We've seen that on that last run prior to the first caution of the night. First car outside lane, first 2 cars outside lane are really untouchable by the inside. Ethan Burrell, again, trying to make something happen, but already just 1 lap into this run, and he's back alongside Dave Carpenter, that 3rd car in line on the outside, and that just seems to be, right now, the limit of what that bottom line can achieve.
Yeah, it just can't make up that gap here, but it's still early, and there are still a lot of good cars here as we see some commotion in the back of the pack.
It's just so hard to get the momentum on the bottom end. The runs on the outside, if you really got people working together, it's just so hard. You really got to have a group totally committed on the bottom to get it going.
Well, he's up to 2nd, looking for the lead here. They might be side by side in 1.
Oh yeah, if Seth can get a really good run and latch onto him right as soon as he gets off the exit 2 here and give a hard push, he can get it.
And
side draft killed the momentum.
I was going to ask you, that was my next question. Does side draft work here?
Yes, only off the right side of the cars. So if you're on the outside, if you side draft that inside, it's so much stronger than the bottom trying to side draft the outside. That's why the outside always prevails. That's why even on other tracks, when you're trying to pass someone, you want to get to their outside and just side draft them down the straightaway. That way you can clear them going into the corner.
I mean, is that because of the skew of the cars, or is that just a bit
Yeah,
of an
why
issue there
is
with
that?
iRacing?
I don't understand. I don't know. It's just like for some reason it's so strong in this car on that side of the car. It's just this car. Like Xfinity, there's a little bit. Trucks, there's a little bit. Other cars, there's a little bit of side draft, but this car on that right, if you put the left front on that right side, it's insane.
We're seeing the effects right now as Ethan Burrell's run kind of starting to die back a little bit, as he's once again alongside the 71 car of Dave Carpenter, trying to get alongside the 31. He gets to the quarter panel, but again, you're going to see, like you're saying there, Matthew, that you just can't seem to pull the air over the spoiler there on that outside lane.
Yeah, and it's hard. And sometimes if they do it right, it will take the car on the bottom and suck him even higher. It pulls him to the right, and sometimes it can cause a wreck like that.
Oh, wow.
The side draft is just so strong in this car. It's insane.
Saw a couple of drivers losing the draft here. Hopefully that won't be a factor as what we saw just recently with the 42. Such an odd instance there. But nonetheless, a lot of torn up cars.
Yeah, you
We
see
still
there's
have a decent sized pack though.
Jaden Rasmus and Justin Fortner. So Rasmus is no longer on the lead lap. Fortner is, but he's lost that lead pack draft, and that's going to hurt him big time. He'll need a caution in probably, honestly, maybe 5 to 10 laps, if even that, if he wants any chance of staying on the lead lap here. Of course, he could have the lucky dog situation, but still not a great spot to be in if you're Justin Fortner.
In the caution, yeah.
Yeah.
Seth is doing a good job pushing Ethan here.
There he is. Seth did a well of a job down the backstretch, and now Ethan trying to lead his
up. Yep, there he goes.
first lap of the night. Now, as a driver, does that make you mad there? Matthew, you
No.
did all this pushing, and he leaves you.
Oh, and
No,
how
Oh,
about this?
Vincent Isabella in the middle.
Oh, what have you
It's
done?
going to slow him down. What Ethan's going to...
Wow,
he doesn't have
Ethan's
nobody.
going to get left out to dry instead. Gerald
Yep.
Campbell thought about it, and he decided to stick with Vince here instead of the 37, and all that hard work from Ethan Burrell goes to waste as he watches his cars just fly on past. There's
He
the
got
effect
a
of the
little
draft right there,
greedy.
folks.
Got a
Wasn't ready for
little
that.
bit greedy.
But no, it don't make you mad. It's expected. Even in other cars, if someone's pushing on outside and you clear him, it's expected for you to drop down and let that guy cool his engine down. Because you do get hot pushing, you know. So it's kind of like, here, I'm going to move up, let you cool your engine down so you're good.
I thought a lap ago Vincent Isabella was in trouble, but somehow through all of that, he has retaken the lead.
Yeah, he made a good 3-wide move with the momentum he had. That was smart. If Gerald or someone else went with Ethan, that side draft would have slowed him down, and he would have been in the sucker hole.
Yeah.
So and
Coming
that's
to complete halfway here,
Oh,
or
look,
lap 25.
Ethan's proving me wrong about the sucker hole coming right up the middle.
oh no, yeah. Oh my God, Ethan here with Daniel Martinez behind him, getting blocked off a little bit there by Scott Crump. and
Oh
has to
my
bail
goodness.
Out.
Yeah.
Things are
Yeah.
getting kind of dicey here.
Poor Martinez
Crump.
now is going to get caught up in that.
Yep.
It looks like, and maybe you can confirm here, Matthew, you can almost tandem for maybe half a lap or so to gain positions big time in a short period, but that run does die out pretty quickly.
Yes, you can literally, if someone's a good pusher, you can log bumpers and you can push him for a lap, maybe a lap and a half before you get hot. And if they can hold it through the corners, man, you go fast. But like you said, once you get hot and you got to lift, all that momentum is gone.
Gerald Campbell doing a well of a job. He stayed faithful to the back bumper of that 82 car.
Yeah, Vince has buddies in here that, they're going to try to help him get into the race. He's a good dude, so. It's been a while since he's raced in the elite, so it's good to see him back on track.
It would be pretty cool to have an open car win here in open race, the duel number 1. Don't know the last time or if that has ever happened. That's a stat in real life I would like to know. 3 wide here.
I don't know if anyone has an elite. I can't recall.
It's tough to remember. I don't know if we track the duel winners in our record books, because that would be something that usually we'd be able to pull up relatively easily, but
yeah,
I don't know if that's a stat we usually track. But if we have any avid viewers there at home, go back and watch through some of the past.
Let us know in the
recordings,
YouTube comments, because I'm not gonna find out.
The only one I remember is the one Josh Clark won.
I'm trying to think. Man, I've probably called 20 Daytona races at this point. I think I can't remember a single one of them. I might remember yours, Matthew. I might have called yours. I might have remembered that one.
I think you and Alex was both in there when I won the 500.
Yeah.
But that was one with we had like 80, 90 passes for the lead. It was
That
insane,
one was insane.
dude.
Yeah.
That was a good 500. I do remember that one.
Yeah, I believe that's
As we saw a car get to the bottom there.
Ethan is so good. He has Dan then. They work well together. Oh, Dan got side drafted here. It's going to kill all his momentum in the middle. And then
that
all back.
inside line has all but gone away now. They have
you
some
can take
serious
a run and go to the middle if you have people, but you die out because that outside side draft just kills the momentum. But you can gain a couple spots like Ethan did.
Ethan now on the back bumper of who is that?
Scott Crump, dude. They're going to go to the front. They work well together on plate tracks. Ethan is a good pusher.
Yeah. Ethan actually gave him a shot in turn 3. Pushing in the corner is typically a no-no.
Ooh, and we saw there. Oh boy, Crump getting loose there into turn number 1, and Burrell has to, I think, lift off there just a little bit, but pretty quickly he's already back on the bumper.
Oh yeah. It's sketchy. It's hard.
Oh, how about
it's hard
that
to
from
stay
Rawls
committed.
as well. Oh my gosh, bumping and banging there. Those bumpers are getting a workout here tonight. The composite bodies here. Those things.
Ethan, man, what a push!
But now for the first time tonight, we're seeing that inside line prevail.
And that's what I mean. You have
around
goes Carpenter.
And we're going to be involved in the aftermath. Caution is going to come out.
Looked like it was really just a 2-car incident there with Carpenter and Scholl.
Yeah, but Mora got involved trying to avoid the mayhem. Ooh, they just got hooked there. Yeah.
Yeah, see the 85 of Kynan Jones, the 2-car of
Oh,
Robert Hill. Yeah, Robert Hill Jr. A couple of other cars went to the grass, but I think in terms of contact, it was the 85, the 2, the 46, and the 4.
And the 4,
involved
yeah.
in that one. Yeah. Let's take a look at that.
I
again.
think that was they just got hooked.
Yep. So there's
Hard
that
to place
initial.
blame on that one.
There's
But,
Robert.
yeah.
He
Robert
fails to slow
gets
down
into
in
the
time.
back.
Kynan Jones, a little bit of contact there for the 99 of Mark Rebelos. 31 car just gets a little bit of contact there. Is that? No, sorry, that's the 91, excuse me, of Johnny Thomas.
Johnny Thomas, yeah.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
shoulder.
let's ride on board with it. He must have had a heck of a view.
Johnny Thomas there?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
And Matthew, maybe you could walk us through what goes through your mind when you see something break out like that.
You're just in panic mode because you're like one eye looking forward, you're lifting, you got one eye on the mirror, making sure no one runs you over. You're not getting killed from behind.
You're just cross-eyed.
Yes, dude, it's crazy.
I'm not gonna lie though, the reactions there from Johnny Thomas were impressive. Before you could
Yeah.
really even see the accident, I think he felt it forming. That was extremely impressive. You saw him kind of lift off there and get away with minimal damage. Again, he was in that direct line there. That would have
I
had.
didn't even see the two cars make initial contact in that replay.
Yeah.
So he must have just known.
It's just good sense of super speedway racing, man. I mean, even like I know in real life they, you know, there's certain guys that just have a knack for it and just know. It's like same thing on here, dude. There's just certain people that just have a knack and they know when something is going to pop off, and Johnny is one of those guys. I mean, he wins big races. He's won Indy. He's won Daytona 500. I mean, you know.
I'd love to hear from Race Control to see what the call is on that.
And through the beauty of modern communications, Alex, you can hear from Race Control. So, the cause of the caution is going to be a racing incident.
Okay.
Looked like the top line there got checked up a little bit. The 71 kind of backed up and went low. Jolden's line never varied, so that's just going to be a racing. That's just going to be a racing incident, product of Daytona Talladega type racing. So, no further action.
Alrighty, thank you very much. That was gonna be my call too. So far, I'm 2 for 2.
Nicely done there.
Yeah, man, good calls.
So 20 laps to go. Just past the halfway point. Feel like Alex, the two of us back in the booth again, and we got Matthew with a shot here too. Let's hear our picks.
Oh man, you're right. I don't know. I like what I'm seeing out of that 82 car, Vincent Isabella, as far as making it in, but it'd be hard to bet against that 37 car. I'm gonna go with my man Ethan, if you're giving me the first choice.
All right, I refuse to put any kind of potential curse on an open car. So I'm going to look specifically at those guys who are already locked in to the event. And taking a look through, I mean, let's roll with man. You know what? Let's roll with Gerald Campbell. Let's roll with that Barbie car there, bright pink. I want to see that thing in victory lane. Gerald, he was up in the booth with us watching qualifying. Had a pretty solid qualifying. And now let's see if he can get that thing. He was a great pusher there for Vince Isabella. Let's see if he can get his way up to the front. How about you, Matthew?
My experience racing these guys, I see that 8 car sitting back there, and he's pushed me to a win at Dega, man. And he's a good plate racer. So I'm gonna go with Josh Robin.
All right, picks are in. Let's see if any of them are going to be those final winners. Of course, Scott Crump up front, Dylan Thomas up front, Vincent Isabella trying to race his way in to the 500.
getting close to the money time.
And I know my team's gonna hate on me for that because he's a Lake Norman guy, but I'm sorry. You already picked Ethan, so I couldn't pick him.
Mm. All right. Pace car is in. Ethan Burrell and Scott Crump on the front row. They're through the Geico restart zone, and we're back under green here at Daytona. 18 laps to go. Vincent
Ethan is-
Isabella needs to run his way and work his way into the Daytona 500, but Justin Wadsworth is not that far behind in the 8th position.
Yeah, Wadsworth right now, best or closest car to Isabella, but you also have Jeremy Miller in that 16 car up top, right behind, looks like his teammate, Justin Wadsworth. So both of them, very similar paint schemes. Will be difficult to tell them apart, but you can see them right next to each other. They're both 2 cars away from Vince Isabella as he's that second car in line on the top lane. So for them, they might need to try and dive to the bottom or hope that something happens to Vince up front if they want a real shot at that 82 car. But of course, still 17 laps to go. Not quite the time yet where you want to be making that move.
Yeah. You see that outside line beginning to take shape. 3 cars now strong. Harold Campbell able to get away from that side-by-side action, which is now 4th place on back. Ethan Burrell downstairs.
Yeah, and Matthew, if you're Justin Wadsworth here and you get clear of that 37, are you going down to the bottom or are you sticking with this top line right now?
I'm staying right now. I'm like, okay, he's right there. I'm trying to make my way in. He's 1 car or 2 cars in front of me. I got a teammate. And I'm sure they got a deal, like, as long as one of us makes this race, man. So they're going to wait, and they're going to wait, and they're going to time their run probably later in the race to pass them and get in front of them, both of them, so they both have an opportunity that one makes the race.
Yeah, tough spot to be in if your teammates, of course, in the same duel, both of you open cars, you know only one of you's making the show. But to be fair, you also want to make sure both cars at least finish well. You never know when an alternate spot may open up in the 500. I think that pretty much happens every single year that we run this event. There's always at least one or 2 spots that open up there for the top finishing guy who didn't make the show. So got to make sure both the 6 and 16 car are clean by the end of this one if you're that team.
Exactly, because you never know how many people might not show up next week. So if you both finish good and get a solid finish and one makes it in and one's right behind you, both can make the race next week.
And we have seen crazy things happen at Daytona. I think I remember, what was it, last year or last season, where the person that made it was like 5th coming across the line.
Yeah.
They were 5th with the white flag, and they made the race. So
it gets crazy on the white flag in these races. I can tell you from experience.
Is there anything you can transfer from your Daytona 500 win that goes in now? There, I know it was a different style of car, but
I feel like I'm a really good pusher, and it still carries from that car to this car. I'm a better pusher than I am getting pushed, so I think that carries over. But yeah, it's totally different racing compared to that car that I wanted into this. It's a different kind of style, in my opinion.
Different as is it harder?
Yes, because the runs are more insane. The side draft, it's not like with that old car you could push someone to the lead, he'll drop down, and then you'll get pushed to the lead. And then you'll drop down, and it's just like the same 3 cars will rotate, because then you'll get down to the guy behind you would jump up, go to the outside, he'll get pushed to the lead. So it's just a rotation of 3 cars always leading in that one. This one, you don't know who's going to lead the next lap. That's how insane you can get a run and push people. Like if Crump and Vince was to make a move now, go down below, it's going to slow up Ethan. Gerald could make a run, go to his outside, and everyone's just scrambled everywhere. It's just so different with this car.
That's what fans love about Daytona, the unexpected here. I'm still in shock that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has a Daytona 500 win. I'm still in shock.
I think everyone is on that one.
I'm just glad my guy has 3 of them, you know.
Fair enough. The 2 back-to-back too were pretty impressive.
Although I will say, the 2020 Ryan Newman should have won that. Dang it!
Oh, Robin! Oh, big wreck! Big
crash! Major crash in turn 3.
Huge wreck there. 83 car Daniel
Didn't
Martinez.
see what happened. Oh, the 99 of Mark Rubelos.
Announcer's curse, bro. My first one ever. I'm sorry.
Let's take a look and see what on earth
Let's see what happened here.
Is this the
Things got too close, and turn 3 has been Calamity Corner. Oh wow!
71 car again, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's head back to the Rabelos replay machine.
See what happened here.
Oh my God! I think it was the 71 and the 4 again. No way. Oh, excuse me. I'm looking at the wrong replay. Ha. Okay. That explains a whole lot.
I'm
confused. I've seen this exact crash before. Sorry about that, folks. All right, let's get you back to the actual replay here, and take a look here. It's been a long time. It's been a long evening. Let's actually roll that back a few frames there and take a look, because it looked like it was Josh Robin
the 8 car in the middle. Yeah,
initiated it.
He may have gotten tapped though from the 30.
No, it looks like he kind of just dove down from that outside lane.
Yeah,
and we can back this up just a tad bit here.
He got tapped a little bit by the 30 car, but
25
may have been bumped. The 25 may have bumped out the 8.
Well, he's seen the checkup. He's trying to lift, and he got bumped.
Yeah.
He bumped again, and then he was like, "Okay, he was trying to make a move down, but it was just they were coming so fast."
Yeah. So, race control here. It's just again a product of racing at this type of a track. The 25 gave the 8 a huge shove. Got him into the 83. 8 had to check up. And it looked like he tried to go to the bottom to get out of it. And when he did, he shot right across the bows of the 30. He had nowhere to go.
Well, that is a big crash there. That
how many cars
1, 2, 3, yeah.
Man,
4,
poor
5,
dude.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Has no luck at these tracks, man.
Who has no luck? I'm sorry, I missed.
Michael Daniel Martinez, Dan. He just always gets caught in the wreck, always.
See Wyatt Canadal also involved.
Yeah, it's just an unfortunate incident, guys. But it is Daytona Talladega type racing. You know, you get somebody that gets a shove, gets hit, knocked in the wrong way, and there you go. So, back to it, gentlemen. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, Mark. Making race control his presence known, and
I'm really surprised they're wrecking this much. Usually, the first duel is a lot calmer than this.
Well, they always the saying is if one of the duels is crazy, the second duel is calm. So
there's a lot of hot rods in that second duel, man. It's gonna be.
Who are you most looking out for in that second duel there?
Always Fody, man. Fody's the guy. He's just good, dude. He's good everywhere. You always gotta look out for that 40 car, man. No matter where you race at.
Okay,
and then John, I forgot. John too, man.
You put Fody and Jeff Green, I feel like, on the same track at a super speedway, and that's a dangerous combo right there.
Oh yeah. So I always tell folks, man, if Fody, me, or Johnny Thomas do not get caught in a wreck early in the race, and we're there at the end, you're going to see us racing for it, most likely.
Yeah. This is one of those racetracks, though, that I feel like, and we've seen anybody really can win at.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it takes a little bit of luck, but, that's anywhere.
But I find it harder to win here than at Dega, because there's a little bit different kind of skill set, and it's narrower here and at Daytona than it is at Dega, man.
Excuse me for 1 second. My dog is whimpering.
But yeah, I mean the narrower track, of course, it does. You treat it a little bit differently to Dega, of course. Obviously, I think a little bit more history at Daytona as well.
Oh yeah, and the car handle's a little different. It's a little looser on the exit of the corner, especially when you're working together. There's a little more handle into it. It's
generally bumpier too, I think.
Oh yeah. I always look forward to this week. This is my probably besides Darlington, this is my favorite week of racing in Elite.
I gotta strap myself into a car again for one of these races. I always had fun at the super speedways.
Yeah, man, it's been a while since you've been on track. It's been a while since you've been in the booth, man. I'm glad to see you back for real.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a break here, but
yeah, are you staying for the 500, or is this a one-time thing?
As of right now, it's a one-time thing. We'll see. I think Dave will be back though, producing for the 500. I may hop in for some portion of the race, though. We'll see what my Wednesday looks like next week. But we're back to Green Flag Racing. Would love to join you guys again in the booth and cover that race. It's always a good time at the 500. But
it's always good talking with you there, Rissa.
You too, man. Always happy to be up here in the booth, and we always get some good races when we are up here. So, I mean, this one's already turned out to be a pretty solid one so far. We've seen some shuffling, and already here now we've got Jeremy Millen.
Outside line didn't get going there with Scott Crum.
Inside broke apart though immediately, as now Ethan Stanley leads the way, but huge advantage for the outside, and there's a bit of separation here now just because of how disorganized that inside was.
Yes. So Ethan Burrell, I wonder if there was talk on the radio. He in the 82 immediately went to the high side to try and drag everyone up.
Big runs are going to be coming from that back group.
7 laps to go. See, one car pushed to the inside there might have snuck out on purpose. Now, if you're one of these cars in the back, how are you signaling to others that you want to go?
You're just trying to get to where the momentum's going. If you just want to get behind someone and push, you don't want to go slow. So, like, the outside's better. So you see everyone going to the outside, follow them, and you just take that run and you go with that run. Especially late in the race. Like Kyle Henshaw made a run now. Ethan Stanley should have went with him, and Johnny should have went with him. That momentum would have carried them three all the way up to probably about the 16 or Gerald. See, that kind of broke up. Now it killed the momentum. Now they got to regather it back up. That bottom's about to start rolling.
See the 46, Kyle Henshaw. A lot of cars behind him. Oh, he gets loose out of turn 4.
That's going to break up all that momentum there, too.
5 laps to go.
And you got to start building it now because it takes a couple of laps to get going, to get that momentum going. So you got to build it now. The more times you mess up, the less chance you got of getting up there and racing in them boys for it.
Remind me of our overtime rules. Is it special because of the duel? Do we only have 1, or do we have up to 3 attempts at an overtime?
That I do not know.
Should be up to 3, and we can even have Mark Murphy in race control confirm that for us too if he's around.
See the 42 up there. Don't know if he's on the lead lap, but certainly in position to try and affect the finish of this one.
Comes the bottom, they got a good run coming.
4
they
laps to
need it.
go. Ethan Burrell trying to do all he can to keep the field at bay.
Of course, this is where the point in the race where everyone starts to get a little bit more and more antsy. That final lap is really when things start to break down for these guys, but you just start to see the shoves are a little bit harder. Again, guys are starting to get a little bit more desperate if you're further back in the pack, so keep an eye out. We could start seeing some pretty crazy saves like we saw on Monday night. We could also start seeing potentially some big crashes here from these guys, so
Yeah.
keep an eye out.
If you're the 82 car, you want one thing, and that is to finish where you are, where Vincent Isabella is running. He will be in the show next week. You don't want to make a move that'll take yourself out. I think that is big time gain for the 37 car, because he knows that 82 is not going to do anything drastic.
Yeah, the
I
82 right
believe,
now is not really threatened by anybody behind. Again, it looks like Jeremy Millerin is the first of the other open cars, and he's in that same lane as the 82 car.
But he's kind of boxed in. Nowhere to go.
Absolutely.
Behind the 31, that Barbie car, which, might I add, is my favorite paint scheme on the track.
Absolutely. That's a great scheme there from Gerald Campbell. He was keen to point it out during qualifying as well.
All right, we're getting down to the white flag. This will mean that the next flag will end the race, which typically means the checkered here at Daytona. White flag is waving. Can Ethan Burrell bring it 2.5 miles around for a checkered flag, the first of 2023 Season B?
Bottom's dying out.
Yeah, no one has made a move yet.
All right, it's just going to be an outside move. The bottom can't do nothing, so let's see how it goes.
Yeah, if you're Vince, you've got to stick to this 37 now. You
Yep,
don't even take that risk.
Yes, you just stay with them, because if you stay with them, you're in the race.
Absolutely. Gerald, though, will take that risk, and there you see the 16 and the
Yeah.
6 on the bottom line. What are they going to try over
Vince
here?
is going to win this. Vince is going to win this race.
Vincent went to the outside and spoiled the party for the 37. They turned behind him. Vincent Isabella is going to win his way into the Daytona 500.
What happened? Ethan just gave up the outside, or did he get loose? That's
Must have
insane.
gotten loose. That was, that was a bit of a shame there for the 37 car.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and see what happened there. He got turned right as the checkered flag was waving.
Oh, he just went, oh. Sad.
But
Good
we
racing,
know
though.
that was a good move to go to the outside there.
Oh yeah, Vince did it perfect, man. That's how you do it right there. You get to his right side, side draft him, and it's over. You have that race won. You just make sure no one gets to your outside, and you win the race.
Yeah, so not only does Vincent Isabella then advance and race his way into the 500, but he also is going to start on the second row. How about that for him?
Yeah, that's good, man.
Can't wait to talk to him. Hopefully, he'll join us here in a few.
And if no open car has won a duel in Elite, there you go.
That's the first one to do it, potentially.
There's a stat.
We've,
I'll try to keep that in my back pocket.
We'll wait for Vince to hopefully join us up here in the booth tonight. Because of the duels and the multi-race format, we'll only be speaking to the winner and the driver who advances. In this case, that is the same person. So nice and short here as we wait between each of our lobbies.
Want to thank you, Matthew, for bringing along your insight, and wish you best of luck in Duel 2 there.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for letting me join you guys, dude. This is my first time ever doing this. I was nervous, so I hope I was good at it. I mean, I hope I gave you guys some ideas what the 500 could be like next week.
Absolutely,
So,
man. You're a natural at this. We got to get you in the booth more often. So appreciate
Yeah.
having you up there. Best of luck in the race.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I told Gerald I think I'm going to try to do it more often. So, man, hopefully sometime soon.
Awesome, man.
It's
Later, guys.
always cool to have a champion in the booth.
I
So-
appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. I'll try to put on a show for y'all this next one.
All right.
Fantastic there, Matthew Weeks. Appreciate having him up in the booth with us for both for portions of qualifying there as well as the first duel here. Results showing on the screen right now. However,
We'll
as
see if we
things
can
roll,
get Vincent here momentarily.
absolutely, and looks like we have him
He
now.
is in the.
We do
All
have-
right. Our we were debating amongst ourselves. We don't know if this stat has ever been, if an open car has ever won their way into the Daytona 500. You thankfully have put that to bed there, Vincent. Walk us through your night and getting to victory lane here at Daytona.
I couldn't have done it without my teammates. They're Scott Crump, Ethan Stanley, David Westergreen for a little bit. We were definitely fast.
What did you learn that's going to help you for next week's big time show?
You know I can't tell you that. No, it's just having friends. Having friends for sure up there is going to help.
Did you you made your way up there? We saw you pretty fast. You scored I believe 12 spots from where you started early on. What did you think of the racing here tonight? And yeah, just your thoughts about the race.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, another person I forgot to mention, Josh Robin. He, I went to the middle there, and the middle's the sucker hole, and on lap 2 or 3, and he pulled down so I could get the draft and get up behind him, and we rode 1-2 there until that first caution, and the rest is history.
All right, Rich, anything more you want to add?
Yeah, Matthew. I mean, looked like it was an outside line type of night here tonight. Do you think that's going to be what it's like for the 500 as well, or do you think that was just the conditions that we had today for the duels?
Did you really just call me Matthew?
I did just call you Matthew. Sorry, we were just talking to Matthew for a while. My head's all over the place. Sorry about that, Vince.
So what was your question?
Oh man,
We couldn't get it past that.
No, that's fair. Oh boy, that's hey man, I'm out of practice. No, it seemed like an outside line kind of night. Really all night long. Pretty much that inside line really couldn't seem to get much work. And does that seem to be what's going to be the case for the 500? It didn't look like it was going to be necessarily the way it raced in the shootout that we had earlier this week. But what do you think the conditions will be? More similar to Monday night or more similar to tonight?
I mean, honestly, that inside line can get moving if you got the right people. We saw Ethan and Crump come flying up past us there a few times. It's just about getting that push and having the right people. Like I said earlier, having the right people to be pushing. Like we had communication where we were, we could push harder than a lot of people up there.
All right. Well, Vincent Isabella, incredible run there.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, seriously,
You're into the big show.
Thank you. Glad to see Alex back in the booth here too.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Want to give you the chance to make some shout outs while we have you here
Yeah,
on the air.
shout
for a
out
great
anyone
run.
and anything you'd like.
Yep, definitely all my teammates. Lake Norman, obviously, this little one-off deal with them as an open car, and obviously I'm running Xfinity full time for them. The newly branded 82 car with Mrs. Goody's Goodies and Bite Size Sports. And yeah, just the team. I wouldn't have been able to win that without them.
Congratulations, man. I am excited for you, and we're excited to see what you can do with that 82 car next week. in the big show.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, folks, we're getting set for Duel 2. It'll be here momentarily, but for now, I think we can take a short break.
Yeah, we'll be back in just a minute or two, folks, with the duel number 2.
Yes. Welcome back. Getting set for duel number 2 here at the Virtual Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. Same as before, 50 laps, 100 miles to decide who is going to be running in next week's Daytona 500 here. Tyler Fody and Jeff Green on the front row.
Yeah, that'll be a dangerous duo to keep an eye out for. We talked about it in the last duel, that when those two are together on track, especially at a super speedway, they work together extremely well. Latham Joyner starts in third behind them in that 0-3 car, and I believe he is going to be the first of our open drivers trying to qualify and race his way into the main event. Now, unlike the first duel where we had Daniel Martinez, who had already locked himself into the show, this time every single open driver is trying to race their way in. So there's not really any kind of distinction there between a locked-in open driver versus a qualified-in open driver. At this point, every single one of them will be racing for it. So Latham Joyner leads that group of cars. I think we're going to have a few others. Obviously throughout the field. David Tooker, I believe, is going to be the next one in that particular group. And we'll let you know of more as they pop up as the night goes on. Keep an eye out. Tate Lytle, former Cup Series champion, Also trying to race his way in. He's now moved to a
Yeah.
part-time schedule in the Cup. So would love for him to make it into
Be a part
the
of the
500.
show.
Yeah.
Man, this one is going to be a
stacked
watcher.
field.
Yeah, I could see why Matthew was biting his teeth or baring his teeth when he saw this, because there are a lot of good names in this second duel, and a lot of people with something to prove here that we know can. Tate Lytle, definitely the head of that pack, a two-time series champion.
For sure, and with Tate, of course. So the question always is Tate Lytle and super speedways are not a pair that work together extremely well or have worked together extremely well in the past. But he's obviously hoping to change that here today. Try and make his way into the 500 and hope he has a good race there. But first off, of course, he needs to have a good race tonight in his duel. Starts P15. Needs to make up quite a bit of ground here if he wants to compete with the likes of Latham Joyner to race his way into this one.
Yeah.
How you boys doing tonight? Has it been exciting?
Oh, we got Chris right in here. It's been you gave us a great show there in
that
in
was
race number
quite
1.
a bit of netcode for that first the first big one of the night.
I do it all for TV. I do it all for you guys.
Oh, thank
No,
you.
just didn't get into the lobby in time. Had an exciting race, eventful, very up and down with a couple of the wrecks, but we finished P3, so pretty good spot, I guess.
Oh, okay then. So you were on the lead lap. My mistake. I think I thought you weren't during one of my convers. During the race.
It just goes to show you're
apologize.
never out of it. Like these guys out here, you can be frustrated halfway through the race, but 50 laps is a long time at Daytona, and the green is out.
Yes, duel number 2 underway here at Daytona. Tyler Fody gets them going, and we'll see who will be able to race their way in to the Daytona 500.
The thing I want to see here is does Jeff Green almost give a little space there to Fody to come down in front? It doesn't look like it, though, because Latham Joyner's right on the bumper of that 38. I would have expected to see the 40 and 38 get in line here. I wonder if that's just a matter of time, but right now they're competing for that lead spot, and this is a great start from that bottom lane, something we didn't see too often in duel number 1. Usually we were getting used to that bottom line kind of getting swallowed up by the top side.
Yeah, somebody who was out there in it, that top side is very dominant. Oh, we got a wreck at the back. 28.
Already.
Yes. Already turn 4, lap 1. Couple of cars involved.
Casey Hatch, Garrison Hogan, Joshua Clark, Rory Collins makes it through. Tim Robb, another one of those drivers, caught up in that. What on earth happened there as the first caution flies?
Garrison
just a lap into
Hogan,
this.
winner of the Daytona 500 from last season.
It looks like the 28 was just trying to go up through the middle 3 wide there. Got a little loose, got the 14, came up, got the 57.
Take a look here. 28 car. Oh, yep, just
Yeah.
loose into the 14. 57, just like you called it. 62 gets caught up in that just a little bit. That's Rory Collins.
Gavel down there does a great job to miss all this, and Garrison escapes with very little damage. I think all these cars, for the most part, are going to be okay, based on the fact that I got wrecked in that first race, and we were fine.
Yeah, Garrison Hogan, one of those open guys. Same thing with Tim Robb there, as well as is Casey Hatch an open to this year? I believe he is. He is, in fact, open. So a lot of open guys actually involved in that one there. Garrison Hogan, Casey Hatch, Tim Robb were the 3 main ones there.
This caution not going to take us into the fuel window, so we will still have a green flag pit stop that will indeed need to happen if we were to go green from the time they restart until the end.
A pretty big if right there.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to duel number 2, lap 1. We made it exactly 2.6 miles to the second duel before a tally was issued. That's going to be on the 28, aggressively changing lanes. I struck the 14, then the 57, so it's pretty easy. Tally on the 28. That is his first tally of the event.
That's the first tally of the evening.
It's the first tally of the season, in fact.
Of the season, yeah.
So congratulations to Josh Clark. Do we have a trophy for that one? We'll check with Chad.
Race Control does not give out those trophies, although I will say, we just philosophically, you try to swallow the whistle a lot at these places because just the way the racing is, that was a little bit beyond what you could swallow. So.
All right, as always, appreciate your insight there. Appreciate you keeping an eye on these. It must be like babysitting a bunch of kindergartners, I'd imagine there, Mark.
Hey now. We took great care of Mark in the first place.
Only when Chris Wright is entered.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, it's more like babysitting pre-K.
Right before that accident, Chris, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I was talking to Rich. I was like, man, lap traffic usually always plays a factor, and right as they went to lap you, that's when that wreck happened.
Nobody was more surprised to get hit or be involved in a wreck than me. I'll tell you that right there. Everybody knew I was coming. It was called out. We missed the start there, and it is what it is. I hate it. Some of those guys did get tore up and couldn't keep up in the draft, but we were good. We got our damage fixed, and everything worked out.
Yeah, third place finish, not too bad.
The damage did not hurt the car a single bit. Like, it was about 2 minutes of optional, and as soon as I came back out to be on the tail end of one lap down, and we took off, it was fine.
Did you ever get it fixed?
Yeah, when I got the lucky dog, I went ahead and took my tires and got it fixed up. I think that might be why I was able to drive through the field a little bit. I think, there is a good amount of tire wear here tonight, so I look forward to seeing that next week. I think we're going to have a good bit of tire wear in the race, and that played a role last year, too. I think it makes the racing better when the cars start to slide around a little bit, but I was aided a little bit by having some fresher tires than everybody else there at the end, and used it to my advantage.
Alrighty. You heard it here first, folks. As we've now completed lap 4, more under caution this race than under green.
What that first race had 2 yellows, right?
3.
That was that third one right at the end. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happened. Gavel's leaving pit road here. He topped off. Somebody else is back there that topped off as well. If you run at the pack and save some, this is right on the edge of, you might have to save a couple, 2-3 laps maybe. But if it runs green from here, I'd watch those guys who just came off pit road. They're topping off.
Yeah.
We are really close to being able to make this on one stop. Or no stops, excuse me. We're really close to being able to make this without a fuel stop needed.
Okay.
Now, they'll have to save. If Gavel drives to the front and takes the lead, he's not going to save the fuel he needs to stretch it. But I'd keep an eye on those guys if, say, we're 35, 40 laps in and the caution has not came out.
Something to keep an eye on as we're getting set for the restart here. Pace car down pit road, putting the field back in the hands of Tyler Fody and Jeff Green. Fody on the outside leads them down. We're back under green, but for how long?
Pretty even start that time. It's all about the pushes right now.
Yeah, it really is. That second row, Michael Hossack, Latham Joyner, as we already see a car peeking up towards the top. That's Trey Holmes, but
Trey
Duck's
Holmes,
back
yeah.
in line there. Probably not the time right now to be making us 3 wide here on lap 5 of 50. Though I think usually that's always been the way the duels work out. Is we got a car right there in the sucker hole. Is that Andrew Rucker? Or no, I believe that was Nick and Delicato. It was in the Giants car, of course.
You see Tate Lytle squeeze to the outside there.
And you're seeing it here. That outside line is the line you want to be in. Now, it does get kind of stacked up when everybody starts checking up and that front 2 gets hot. Then the inside can pull up through there. But it's going to take a few laps for that to happen.
this bottom line now, starting to slow down just a fair amount as that bottom line still being led. Is that by Jeff Green there? I believe so.
Matthew Weeks is trying to come up through the middle with help from Chad Frankenfield.
Scott Haney, excuse me. But yeah, check out that middle
Yeah,
line there.
three wide action about 15th on back there by our Duel 1 broadcaster, Matthew Weeks.
How about that? And now he's got Andrew Rucker joining him in that middle lane. These guys taking it aggressive early on. We talked to Matthew. He said he wanted to come out here and win this race. The question is now, is he going to try and pull teammate Tate Lytle down with him? Remember, Tate.
Oh, Harris in the wall.
Oh, car in the wall there, turn 2.
Harrison gathers it back up, keeps it. Oh, still hitting the wall there. And that's kind of a condition we've been seeing there. It kind of feels like the car gets sucked into the wall once you make that initial contact. So, really,
what it is, we're not
Harrison.
close to running that close to the wall. Tate's going to get shuffled. Nick and Delicato is going to put him in the middle. But what it is we aren't used to running that close to the wall. And so we come here to Daytona, and it's all about protecting that right rear. That's why the outside works so well, is because of the way the side draft is in the sim. It's way more powerful on the right rear quarter panel than it is the left rear. So you just want to protect that right rear and not let anybody get there.
That's what we saw with the ultimate winning move there with Vincent Isabella and Ethan Burrell. Vincent was able to get to the right rear quarter panel on that last turn of the last lap.
Yeah, that's one area I think all of us drivers would like to see iRacing work on and make it where the side draft's the same on either side. Right now we got the 3-car leading the bottom lane there in front of Jeff Green. This outside lane should be getting tight. Latham shouldn't be able to keep pushing very much longer as hard as he is, so I'm thinking the inside's going to make a charge here, and there goes Trey.
There you go.
Personette goes with him. You now got Justin Vandermeer with him. Scott Haney, and now all of a sudden the manpower is on the bottom as they're just waiting for Nick and Delicato to catch up to the outside, and he finally does. But I think the damage is done now. Trey Holmes, Josh Personette, both are just Trey Holmes right now, clear of Tyler Fody. The Personette, I think, yeah, now is able to clear Fody if they so choose to go up to the top. And honestly, if I'm them, I might want to get up there relatively soon here just because that top line, how strong it has been, and there they go.
Yeah, see what happened there, what created that is Latham couldn't push Fody as hard as he was. He got too hot, he had to back off, and those guys had it timed out well to pull down and make that pass as soon as he started backing off to try to cool his car back down.
Mm-hmm.
So with that now, it's Scott
Can
Haney
you
leading
tell
the way.
there, Chris, when another car is getting hot, or is that like all on the radio?
Oh, you can tell. You can feel the pace slow down as Matthew Weeks is going to shoot right through the middle once again. But yeah, as a car in the line, you can tell. You can tell when you start stacking up. You can tell when you start going slower. 28's on the apron here. This might cause an issue. He's going to be okay. He was able to keep it down there.
As Josh Clark gets back up onto the racetrack, but he'll lose that lead draft, and that's going to be painful. Couple of laps there for the 28 car.
But Alex, it is quite wild that you can feel just a little bit of difference in a mile per hour there without even knowing how fast you're going. When you slow the pace down just a little bit, you can feel that 10, 15 cars back.
Joshua, a person that makes a lane change well over 100.
And Nick and Delicato's going to shoot through the middle, get up to the top.
And in the middle, oh my goodness.
Cutlip's trying to come through the middle with help from a teammate there. That's Hogan right there in the Yahoo machine trying to push Cutlip.
These folks are aware that there's still 40 laps to go.
They're feeling a little confident. They've all talked to teammates. They all kind of know what's happening, how the cars are going to drive. Oh, we got a big stack up here on the front stretch with the 21, the 3. It's going to stack the 31 into the 24.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of chaos there. Lose the camera there just for a second. But, yeah, a little bit of shuffling. And again, nowhere near the level of organization that I think we saw in that first duel. Guys really moving around here, just not quite as organized as what we saw. I think we saw very clean 2x2 for a good portion of duel number 1, and this time by, we're seeing guys already shooting the gap for 3, trying to work their way in. And I think that the difference is I think in terms of open drivers, we generally have quite a few guys who you would expect to make the field, all gunning for one open spot as around. Go 64.
Haas pretty.
Watching wreck in the middle of the pack. We saw the 3-car first get turned, but it was someone behind him that sent him flying into the outside wall, and our second caution is out.
It looked like it all started there with the 64 of Andrew Rucker. Take a look and see what happened to him. He's that white car on the right-hand side of your screen running close to the 38 of Jeff Green. Does he make contact? Looks like he's able to check up there, but that might result in the 70 of Razimus.
70, yeah.
Netcode, too, I think, definitely played a factor into that one. We'll see what the call is from Mark Murphy, but that looked like Netcode to me. 3-car gets caught up in that. Scott Haney, so that's the 84 car as well, gets caught up there. Wyatt Canadle.
Yes.
Yep.
The 21 and the 24 are both involved there. Gavel, again, missing it in the grass. There goes Chad Frankenfield missing it.
06
I'm looking here. I think if the 3 drives off with no broken toe link, I think everything's going to be fine here. I don't see anybody getting major damage.
Doesn't seem
you
like
do
it.
feel for the 3 of Scott Haney. He was doing everything right and just got turned right there.
Haney, see if we can get a zoomed-in look at that 3-car. Doesn't look too bad. A little bit of right front fender damage, but definitely have seen much worse. Still racing and still competitive.
The question on that 3-car is looking at that right front tire. I cannot tell if it's towed out or in or either direction there, but as long as that thing is straight, he's going to be fine.
Well, and how long does it take to fix a broken toe link? Is it like 15 minutes or so?
If it's broken, it'll be about 8 minutes. If it's bent, it'll be about 4.5 or 5. But if it's bent, it usually doesn't fix very well.
Okay.
And through a number of pit boxes there for Haney.
It doesn't look like it was broke coming around, so if he's got anything, it's probably bent, and it probably won't get any better if it's bent.
Take a look here, see how long he sat on pit road. Meanwhile, Trey Holmes leads the field off of pit road ahead of Tyler Fody, Joshua Personette, Jonathan Cutlip, David Tooker, Nick Indelicato, Jeff Green, Chad Frankenfield, Latham Joyner, and Jesse Razimus make up your top 10. In terms of open drivers,
I think David Tooker.
I believe you
Which is
correct.
Surprising to me that he's not locked in. But you
David
know
Tooker,
his pro-ed racing teammates will do all that he can.
And everyone pitted here, right? Because this is in the window.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is in the window. Looks like everybody came down pit road. Nobody stayed out on the racetrack. So all of those making the right call there. Should be good to go to make it to the end of this one.
Speaking of making the right, wrong, or indifferent calls, guys, unfortunately, Race Control has to make a return here to inform you that that last accident was netcode. I put a picture of it up into the Discord, but there was an honest foot between those cars when they began to
like a
careen it down. There was definitely daylight between the cars, so and they began to careen down the Daytona International Speedway. So, unfortunately, as it goes, product of racing cars on a computer at 200 miles an hour, sometimes that happens, but no further action.
And I'll say this for everybody at home: Mark is wrong on his calls more often than he gets them right. Nothing, Mark? Nothing?
Might be listening in to someone else. Oh no.
You know, it's Chris is absolutely correct in that I am wrong 97% of the time, but this is a dictatorship, not a democracy, and his opinion doesn't really matter.
What we like to hear. It's the Elite Racing League way.
That's right. Well, it's actually Mark's way. It's Mark's way. Chad thinks he's in control, but he's really not.
Chad was never in control.
You know, it's fun. I enjoy doing this, but it really is. I mean, it's tough to make these calls, but in the end, Chad lets us make them and sticks by them, and so um, you know, it's kind of weird too, Rish, Chris. Sometimes what appears on my screen isn't always what you see, but we've got to go with mine because that's what the controller is. But anyway,
nonetheless, it's a lot of fun. You know, it's a lot of fun to be a part of this and to race. And I think we're seeing a great race right here in the second duel. They're being a lot more racy, a lot more aggressive, and I think a lot of that is to do with watching that first race. They know how important track position is going to be. You've talked to your teammates about how the cars drive, and when they start to slide, like out there driving it, the car does, wear the tires, and the car gets to sliding around pretty good.
You know, Chris, it's kind of that old story, right? Which is, the guys in the second duel know exactly what they have to do because of the first one, and so second duel is either usually really calm or it is really wild. And I think this one's going to be kind of wild because you saw such a high finish from an open car in the first one. But I'm going to head back and let you guys get to it.
All right, green flag is back out. Trey Holmes and Johnson Cutlip, who, if you were a part of the broadcast beforehand, it's not a question of if but when that 5-car visits victory lane here. I think it's going to happen this season.
One thing I'm noticing too is Nick Indelicato is, if he's not leading, he's making a move trying to lead. That's a guy that's either going to be there at the end and have a shot to win because of the way he's racing, or sometimes you get wrecked because of it. It's going to be feast or famine, but he has taken every run, every opportunity to try to move forward, and right now he's leading this inside line.
Also leading the charge of the go or go homers. Right now that is led by Nick Indelicato. David Tooker, the next car, in 8th spot. So 4 positions back. Nick doing all he can on that bottom lane.
And he's got a great push right now. They've been connected pretty long here, and you're seeing the top lane become a little bit disconnected, so they're going to come back together here down the backstretch in 88.
Excuse me. Matthew was saying the ideal number is 3 cars working well to keep on the bottom there. 3 cars working well. Would you agree with that?
Oh, here we go. 3 wide. They just shuffled Nick Indelicato to the middle. Oh. And he's going to fall backwards. He's going to be running about 15th by the time they get back to the line.
There's nobody around him.
And now all of a sudden, a huge amount of advantage to this outside lane as that kind of breaks up the momentum that the inside had. So Joshua Personette remains in the lead on that bottom line ahead of David Tooker, who I believe is still our lead open driver.
Yeah, it was Nick. But here comes Jesse Rasmus.
Nick is a chartered car there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I did not know that. So, yeah. I was trying to create drama.
And here comes Indelicato right back in the middle. Like I said, he's taking every run. Every time he gets a run, doesn't matter. He's going to go somewhere.
Right on board. Show how tight quarters can be here when you are running the middle at Daytona.
What's 3 wide like at Daytona?
Oh, man.
With this package, this next-gen car, my rule is don't go to the middle unless you know you have somewhere to land on the other side. So in other words, don't go through there unless you know you can get to the top or the bottom with a big run to the other side, because if you get stuck in the middle with the side draft on either side, you're going right to the back.
He was able to jump what looks like into the outside lane there.
Matthew Weeks is going to pull down from, 4th car in line? Nope, he's going to pull back. Decided he didn't want to do that.
Matthew is another guy who, just like Nick, I've seen take all the moves that he can, and so far it looks like it's paying off for him. He's in the 7th position.
The 18 and the 70 are hooked up like we saw. Oh, the 70's going to get turned here.
Oh my goodness, what a save by Jesse Rasmus. Wow.
He's going to save
on the grass.
He might stay in the draft as well.
I don't know. I think, he's out of the draft there, but we stay under green. like to see what happened there.
That was just a little bit too hard of a push, but they were connected, moving forward, and then all of a sudden, when you're pushing and you turn that guy sideways, it's really easy to do off the corner. It's like the car kind of unloads from the corner, and that front car getting pushed just gets turned ever so slightly sideways.
We saw this time and time again, and the shootout, and there it is, just like you described.
Chad Frankenfield's going to move down to the bottom to block that inside lane. He's going to go back to the both. That's twice I've seen two guys go to the bottom and then say, you know what, I better get back to the top.
The 15 and the 11, I believe, are no strangers to working together, and they're nose to tail right now.
I do like the cars I'm seeing on this inside lane. I like Tooker down there. I like him with Personette. Weeks is going to come down there. I like this. You got Jeff Green and Vandermeer right there. I think those are guys who are going to work together, and we're going to see that right here. And I think Personette might be too hot right now as well, so they might be able to get 3 or 4 clear on the bottom.
Oh, saw a little bit of a blinking there. I think that was the 56 of Tate Lytle. We'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully, in regards to spinning people, the 18 car has.
Are you saying Matthew better be ready?
Yeah. Well, and you know, the 18 is trying to help. You know, the 70. That's not a position of you're trying to wreck somebody. Do you put that in the back of your mind? Do you have to as they go for the lead right here?
Oh, yeah, you got to put that in the back of your mind. They're going to pull clear, get to the top. And now they're going to hook up on the top. That's going to leave Tooker and Jeff Green on the bottom, leading that lane.
Yeah, and you saw how quickly Tooker just kind of backed away, and here we go. Look at that from Garrison Hogan. This run, he's trying to make something work, but you can get that run, but it immediately dies down without any kind of support there, and he's going to back up.
Yeah, you got to know where you're landing. You got to know where you're going to go when you get to the other side, or else you're just stuck.
Well, yeah, there's a major blink out of the 56 car.
Joshua Personette's going to pull to the bottom, try to pull out in front of Tooker. See if he can take the lead. Or, I'm sorry, Jonathan Cutlip. Personette is on the top, pushing Matthew Weeks. How did Matthew do tonight? You guys enjoy Matthew being up here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so far, he's doing exactly what he said he wanted to do, which is go out there and win this duel.
Well, he was excited about it. He was excited to get to be in the booth. I know he's going to do I think he agreed to do an ARCA race with us next week at Daytona. So
he mentioned it to us too. So you're gonna have to hold him to that. I'm gonna look forward to listening to that broadcast there. He did a great job up here in the booth calling the first race.
Yes.
He just moved down at the right time to get the push and keep the lead there. If he didn't move down, I think Chad Frankenfield would be leading this thing right now.
And
Matthew was able to get down there.
Matthew's another one of those guys that he just has that innate sense on these super speedway tracks, right? You know, we were watching a Johnny Thomas on board in Duel 1 where he avoided a wreck, and you could see how quickly he was able to recognize that things were going wrong and back out of it. Before the wreck really even happened, or as it was just about to happen, is when Johnny Thomas decided to lift. And that recognition is something that not a ton of guys have, but you can recognize it really well when they do. And Matthew Weeks, one of those guys that just has it at these tracks. That ability to recognize when a run is coming and understand the momentum of the two different packs and just the way the overall field ebbs and flows throughout an event like this. So you're seeing that right now and how it's paying off for him, leading up top on that outside lane. Had to defend a little bit. Chad Frankenfield had a run, but then opted down to the bottom line, and you're seeing now again just not paying off. That bottom lane not working for anybody really here tonight.
Yeah, you just got to do it right. You know, you got to know when that line is dying at the top, when those front two cars start having to lift because they get hot. You know, that second car in line gets hot. That's when you want to pull down and get to the bottom and pick up 3 or 4 rows and then get back to the top.
All right, Rasav, the clicker has clicked down. The counter has clicked down. I got to pick first. Last time, I'll give you the honor. Who are you watching to take this to victory lane here in Duel 2?
I mean, I'm gonna take the guy was just leading the race there, and that's gonna be Matthew Weeks. He's back up front now, just momentarily over Frankenfield, but I was just talking to it. I mean, Daytona 500 winner, knows how to get the job done. Very, very, again, just comfortable leading, very comfortable pushing. Just kind of happy all around the track. I'm gonna say he's gonna win, but I could also totally see him kind of backing up to one of his teammates, helping push them to a victory, like David Tooker here, who's just rolling past the 11 car right now.
All right, Chris, who do you have?
Well, I think Weeks looks good. Tooker looks good. Jeff Green, I'm looking at the guys who've stayed up here in the bottom lane. They're not in the optimal lane here, and I think I like John Cutlip right here. I think he's been able to stay at the front. He's been able to make things happen, kind of be the guy that pulls a lane and can push a lane. He's stayed right here in the front 2 or 3, so I think I'm going to take that 5 machine.
Dang, that was my first and second pick that both of you guys just took. So I'm going to go with the 19, David Tooker. Why not go 2 for 2 there and have the open cars win both of these races here tonight? That would
that 22 looks good too. I think that 22's been in a couple wrecks, and he looks sporty as well. He's just now finally making his way to the front.
Last year, defending Daytona 500 champion, and I like the paint scheme of his. I gave the paint scheme award to Gerald. He had the Barbie car in Duel 1, but Duel 2, I think, goes to that 22.
So let the record show, Tyler Fode's in this race, and none of us picked him.
Tyler Fode where is he running right now? He's P9.
He's about to be in a good spot. He's going to be the second car. Oh, they're trying to shuffle Chad out.
They are 3 wide as they shuffle out Chad Frankenfield. 21 laps to go here, and things are getting spicy up front.
I'll tell you this, if you get shuffled out into the very top lane, that just shows that you don't have any friends. Like, that takes effort to shuffle the guy out on the top lane.
Oh, you saw Matthew Weeks try to defend a run from the 5 of Jonathan Cutlip. 2 cars that were battling it out for a championship last year. They're side by side once again. And now Cutlip.
They're getting pretty racy right here, boys. This might be the spot where we see a wreck.
Oh boy, 3 wide
Is
through the
going
tri-oval.
to get. Cutlip gets the advantage here, pushed by Trey Holmes. Matthew Weeks right behind him. Trey Holmes and Jonathan Cutlip are teammates.
I'm seeing a lot of Pro Edge affiliation up here at the front.
Yeah.
Everybody lined up on that inside line back to David Tooker. They are affiliated or a part of Pro Edge.
Yeah, that's insane. The top 6 cars right now in that bottom lane.
And they've all migrated to the bottom. That's something we did not see in Duel 2 at all, or Duel 1 at all, excuse me.
Yeah, I don't think you saw 6 cars affiliated with each other. They were able to get in the line.
But you see what we have up ahead. There was some lap traffic.
Oh, and they're shuffling one of them out. There goes the 18.
Oh.
Couple
Things
of big
are
saves
getting
there.
pretty dicey. There's Chad Frankenfield and the 21 getting together.
They're trying to shuffle them out 1 car at a time.
"19 laps to go." But I'm with you there. We've only had 2 cautions. Another one would equal what
Here
we
comes
saw.
Latham Joyner's going to pull up and lead this top line. This top line's going to come back with a head of steam. What does Pro Edge do?
Latham Joyner and David Tooker, that is the battle for the
They're gonna
Daytona
block 'em.
500.
And they're going to leave Tooker down at the bottom with no help.
Oh no!
Oh my
goodness!
Back of a lap.
Haney,
there
that
we
was
go. Hard in the wall goes
Gavel's gonna get
Latham
turned.
Joyner, and they're
Delicato-
wrecking at the turn 2.
Oh, and Delicato is done. Nick and Delicato just blew up.
What on
That
earth?
all began when Tucker caught the back end of Harrison Talon and just had nowhere to go.
And I'm not race control there, but I don't know. My initial thought is that is on the 19 there.
Well, he just had such a head of steam, he had nowhere to go, and Latham Joyner, who was running for that Daytona 500 chance, his chance may have just went up in smoke there.
Yeah, that Tucker kind of used the 23 as a ping pong ball there, right up into the 3. You hate to see that for Indelicado. I think he's the only guy who got severe damage here.
Yeah, what happened to the 10? Right
that.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's a hard hit.
Yeah, looks like Harry got away all right. Gavel gets away okay. Scott Haney again caught up in another issue. A couple of other guys generally making it out pretty cleanly. It is, yeah, Nick Delicato, unfortunately, appears to be the one who got away the worst out of that incident.
Yeah.
He looked good for a minute, and then just like in true New York Giant fashion, it falls apart before the end.
Talk about, man, kicking a man when he's already down right there.
Yeah, a little bit, but hey, it's it's just the duels. We're just sitting in the lineup. He didn't, I guess he lost a shot at some points there, but I'll tell you what, he learned a lot tonight. He took every run. He was one of the guys that I said it's going to end checkers or records for him. Taking every run, you're learning what to do. You're learning what happens in the middle when you get in those spots where you might not want to be. And if there's ever a time to do it, it's now. This is the best practice for 500 miles next week. You're out here, you're racing for a little bit of something. And guys are going to be aggressive, and he's learned more tonight than probably anybody else has.
Yeah.
There are also some mechanics that are on pit lane, some virtual mechanics guys that are learning to fix some wrecked race cars. By the way, that last incident, 19 into the 23 into the 3 into the rest of the field, we're going to call that a racing incident. It's just a chain reaction. No further action will be taken. I remain wrong 97.5% of the time. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm gonna bump that up to 98. I mean, I definitely understand the call.
Yeah.
But I think my initial take, and it seemed like yours too, Chris, was it might have just been a little bit slightly out of control there, I think, from David Tucker.
Yeah, I think in my opinion, we saw twice tonight where cars getting lapped kind of got ran over.
Yeah.
But we're not looking at what Mark's looking at. He said he saw netcode, so he saw netcode. Right there.
Absolutely.
The 19 tried to check up, but he just couldn't get checked up. So it is what it is. It's not either way. It's not going to fix that 10 car. And luckily, when it happened in the first race, we didn't get too tore up. So hate that for Nick. He was kind of the show
The
tonight.
good news is he's in the big show.
Of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He could have been an open guy, and that could have been his race right there.
That would have been devastating. So we've tied the number of cautions that we had in Duel 1. 3 fairly multi-car crashes, fairly decent-sized crashes in both duels, 3 of them each. But we still have, when we come back to green, 14 laps to go.
Are you asking if we think we're going to see more yellows?
I was going to.
I think we might still have 3 more in it.
Oh, okay, then 3 more.
I mean, we've got to use a green-white checkered, right? That's like the elite racing rule, right? We got to use at least one green-white checkered.
I don't think we'll see a green-white checker. I have faith.
See, but I race with these guys. I know what's about to happen. It's about to get crazy. I know who's up here. I know Tyler Fody wants to win, and he is. I can just hear Tyler Fody right now after being a teammate last season saying, all these pro edge guys, I'm just going to have to be stupid aggressive and make some moves. And so we'll see what he's able to pull off here. These pro edge guys are going to try to work together. You know, Tate Lytle's found his way to the right, to the front. Andrew Rucker is up here. You know, he's going to be the fourth car on the inside. And then I believe our first caution, Joshua Clark, has also joined the top 10, kind of under the radar there. We kind of missed that.
He's gained the most spots, too, in the top 10, up 20 positions.
And I don't think we've seen the last of Justin Vandermeer, Latham Joyner. Jesse's back there. Jeff Green's back there. Tooker's back there in the midfield. We're getting ready to see some great stuff, I think.
14 laps to settle it out. Trey Holmes and Johnson Cutlip on the front row. Who will be able to race their way in to the Daytona 500?
We're already 3 wide at the back. That's kind of strung out the field there. They got to racing each other for about 10th or 15th. It's going to come all back together with a big run from somewhere in the middle of the field.
Ooh, there goes Trey Holmes. Does the 22 go with him? He did not.
He's got Tyler Fody down there to push on him, though. Latham Joyner trying to come up through the middle.
Latham Joyner, who was involved in that last wreck, still setting his sights on the Daytona 500. He's one of our open cars.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's got to make something happen.
Just he needs a buddy right now to go with him, and just doesn't seem like he has that right now. Any kind of support to go down the middle there, because he'll have a run, but he just doesn't have any place to slot into, like you said there, Chris, and has to slot back in all the way back in 16th position as Joshua Personette switches lanes there, just behind Tim Robb, who's able to just clear the 18 car up front. It's Jonathan Cutlip from Trey Holmes from Matthew Weeks, and there's Tyler Fody now running in P4 ahead of Garrison Hogan, the first of your open drivers.
Yeah, Tyler Fody's done a great job pushing on that bottom side. Had help from Rucker, Josh Clark. Are they going to be able to get clear? And if Trey gets clear, does he leave Fody out? Jonathan Cutlip comes down the side draft, and I can tell you right now, you would not believe how much you feel that as a car getting side drafted. Trey felt immediately that thing felt like it lost about 300 RPMs.
Side-by-side action still up front, led by that 5-car Jonathan Cutlip, who would like nothing more than to win here at Daytona.
It's kind of been more double wide than I thought. I thought we'd see guys try to make a middle lane and make something happen. Just not seeing it. Let's see if Jonathan comes down and side drafts this 88 right here. He does not.
No.
That's going to let him get
Still side by side.
Latham coming up the middle again. Just trying to make something happen back there.
These pushes, you can, and you, Chris, being a competitor, you can feel the energy beginning to pick up, especially when that lap counter ticks down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can feel that energy picking up. You can feel the pushes get harder. You stay connected longer. And you're seeing it at the front, you know, with the more aggressive side draft out of Cutlip. He didn't side draft him that last time, but you're seeing there's a lot of energy being built up in the middle of the pack right now. And eventually that's going to push somebody with a big run out of that pack.
Yeah.
And you're seeing the middle line surge forward right now. We're getting a few cars in that middle line.
I think I saw David Tooker get sandwiched into that outside lane. There's the 64 of Andrew Rucker trying to make a move, and they're 3 wide again, bouncing off one another out of 2.
And that's Latham. He's got to make these kind of moves. He has got to try.
He can
Now, if I'm
see.
Latham, I'm close enough to the front now. I maybe don't take every run. I try to be smart and try to stay there. Matthew
His
Weeks
ticket
dropped.
to the Daytona 500, as we see Matthew Weeks get to the bottom there, is right in front of him there, Chris. It's in the form of that 19 car. He has to get around him.
That's right. He's moving forward right now.
The battle for the Daytona 500, a chance to get in, and the battle for the race win. JC Garrison Hogan.
Oh, 3 wide at the front. Oh, Matthew tries to score.
Matthew almost got turned.
That's
He
going
saves
to
it,
kill
but
that inside lane. Here
here
comes
comes David Tooker to the bottom of the racetrack. Latham
Joyner.
Joyner is going to join him.
If I'm Latham, I might have stayed up there in line. I don't know if I'd have pulled down here.
He's now going
Trying
with
to go
Tooker.
with the enemy there.
So you've got, Tooker, Hogan, and Joyner, 2, 3, 4, as well as Lytle in 5th. All of them open drivers trying to race their way in, with Jonathan Cutlip, the only chartered guy, sitting right now inside the top 5.
If Tooker gets clear, I imagine he's going to pull to the top.
He didn't quite clear him that time. 7 to go. 6 next time by.
One car that really got hurt there in that stack up and is no longer up here at the very front, Tyler Fody, lost all his track position.
Ooh, this 5 car is going to have to. Oh, you see the 19 make it to the outside. He took your advice there, Chris, and dove to the outside lane to try and.
He needs to pull him back now. He's got to get down there and pull back on his right rear, do a little side drafting.
But Latham Joyner.
Latham's clear. If I'm Latham, I'm going to the top right now.
Oh, Andrew Rucker out of turn 2.
And there it is.
Saves
Latham
it.
gets to the top.
Rucker saves it there, and here we go. Latham Joyner takes over the lead of this one. Open driver versus open driver, 1, 2, 6 laps to go.
That's right. Now, if I'm Latham,
I have to wonder, did Latham take tires? He probably did to fix that damage. That might be the difference in why he's able to drive through. The drivability of that race car better than when the 19 was last on pit road. 3 wide
But
mid-pack.
here's the worst thing for Latham. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and that 6th car on the top. That's all Pro Edge.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
and-
wrecking. We're wrecking in the back. Michael Hosick.
Hosick goes
Latham's
around
getting
into the
passed in the
wall.
lead right now. We're
No
going to stay
caution
green. They're
yet.
trying to shuffle Latham Joyner out. They
How about
can't do
this?
it. Chad Frankenfield. Here comes Chad Frankenfield leading the bottom line.
Garrison Hogan, though, going to give an advantage to that 3 car. Wow, they're 3 wide, 3 by 3 by 3, as David Tooker is in the middle. 5 to go. We did not bring out the yellow flag there.
That was big for Latham to hold off that Pro Edge maneuver there when they thought the caution was coming out.
Oh, coming down
Turns
over
left.
of Matthew Weeks in front of David Tooker, just barely clears him.
Trying to get his Pro Edge Racing teammate in, or was that a move for himself? Garrison Hogan, though, doing all he can.
Now, if I'm Latham Joyner right here, I am going to say I'm going to protect the right rear. Like, even if I shadow off to show that I'm going to go to the block to the left, as long as they don't get to your right rear. We're wrecking Tyler Fody.
There it
Got
is.
Fody around.
Going to bring out a caution. Trey Holmes gets involved.
Cutlip
Yellow is
involved.
out.
Trey Holmes
And
was involved.
overtime here. Matthew Weeks, the leader. Latham Joyner just ahead of David Tooker.
Not real sure where the 57 was trying to go there.
Who is the 57 car? Tim Robb?
Yep, Tim Robb there. one of our
Maybe
open
some
guys.
net code there.
May have been a little bit of netcode there. We'll have Mark give the call on that one, but Tyler Fody involved, 5-car of Jonathan Cutlip, the 88.
Jonathan Cutlip and Trey Holmes
Yep.
have to be wondering they were
I
in
don't
control of
see
this.
any netcode there. I think the 57 was trying to go into the middle, and there wasn't really a room there, and he saw that at the last second. Right as he made contact with Fody, he was trying to check up, and he got hit by the 5. I think
Yeah.
that was just a 57 trying to make something happen. That might be an open car trying to throw a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
He did get help though from the 5 in the middle of the corner there.
Yeah, but he had already tried to go through that hole, and he had to lift. Like, he put himself in a bad spot. He put himself in a bad spot right there.
Yeah. Well, as you had mentioned, we will be going to overtime here.
That's an elite racing rule. You have to use at least one overtime.
All right, guys. Well, I will be right back for the finish there. I just don't want to miss it, but I have to use the restroom. So I will be right back.
No worries at all. We'll use this opportunity while the pace car lights are still on to talk about our premier sponsors here at the Elite Racing Network, starting with TA Services. For over 36 years, TA Services has been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider, offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing and fulfillment, and cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. TA Services moves what matters to you. Also want to shout out Blue Egg Marketing, the marketing department for small businesses. If you're a small business owner, then Blue Egg Marketing is your absolute biggest fan. We help your business punch above their weight class. And of course, Worldwide Technology Raceway, a motorsport racing facility in Madison, Illinois, close to the Gateway Arch. Features a 1 1/4 mile that hosts NASCAR Cup Series as well as Truck Series races, as well as an open wheel series that we're not quite allowed to mention on the air anymore. They also have a 2-mile infield road course used by the Super Tour Trans Am, SCCA, and Porsche Club of America, as well as a 1/4 mile drag strip that hosts an annual NHRA Midwest Nationals event. Worldwide Technology Raceway is also host to the Kartplex, another state-of-the-art karting facility, so check out Worldwide Technology Raceway if you're located around the Gateway Arch, Madison, Illinois area. One of the most incredible racing facilities, and they've been a longtime supporter of the Elite Racing Leagues Network and sim racing in general. So shout out, of course, to our premier sponsors here. Glad to have them all back on board here for the 2023 B season, and we're hoping we can give them some great races to continue supporting, and yet another great championship as we run towards the end of 2023. Crazy to think that we're already more than halfway through this year.
Yeah, the years went quick, but I will tell you this, it feels like forever since we've been doing, the Elite Series here. We've had the ARCA Series and the Open Wheel Series running, but feels like a long time since we've been out here racing, and it's everybody on a clean slate. First points of the year awarded already in the first race. We're going to get the top 10, get some points here. A lot's going to happen here, though, as we take the 1 to go here. I'm looking at Latham Joyner. He doesn't have a whole lot of help, but Matthew Weeks has picked the bottom. Kind of surprises me there. He's going to give Latham the top and let Latham lead the top lane.
Yeah, interesting choice there. It looks like, I guess the primary support there is you line up your 3 Pro Edge Toyotas all on the bottom. But even
yeah,
then,
but what if Matthew gets clear and he has to make a decision? Do I stay with the 19 or do I pull up and win the thing? Like,
I think I know he wants to win it, but also, do you even possibly try to check up the 03 and the 22, right? These are guys competing with your 2 guys, the 19 and the 56. You got 4 open cars right here in the top 5.
The 22 is open, right? He's an open car, right?
Yeah, 22.
So the 19, the 22, the 56, they're all racing for that spot.
And
so I don't
3,
think the 22 is not going to work with you to get the 19 up there. He's saying, you know what? No. Let me, I think at this point the gloves are off.
So yeah, if you're Matthew
this
Weeks,
is
though,
going
who
to be
do you help
good.
out?
If I'm Matthew
I
Weeks,
imagine you got to help your 19 because that's your teammate, right?
Well, they're all teammates, though.
Oh, are they?
The 19, the 22, the 56, the 11, those are all teammates. So if I'm Matthew Weeks, I'm doing everything I can.
Lytle. Yeah.
I just win. Like, if I'm Matthew, I'm like, hey, you guys do whatever. race for your spot. I'm going to make every move I can to win the thing. I'm not worried about, which of you guys get in. Just make sure it's one of you. That's what I would say if I was Matthew.
Well, all these questions hopefully about to be answered in 2.5 miles. If they make it to the white flag, the next flag will end the race.
I just want to point out to Casey Hatch got the free pass. Let's remember that for where he finishes.
Green flag back out. We're in overtime.
Pretty good start for Latham. You're going to get to bring that guy back. The 11's going to get clear. The 19 and the 56 are stuck down there now. Oh, Latham's
Latham went to the middle.
And Garrison, oh my goodness, Garrison going to go with him?
Oh, the 11 car, but almost gets turned.
Oh, no.
He does, and they're going to crash pretty hard.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
And so all of a sudden...
Oh, there's heavy hits here. Heavy hits down here on the inside wall.
Yeah, the 4 cars that we have now up inside the top 5 that are open have completely shifted. Well, let's take a look at this this big one here.
This is most definitely the big one here, but Tate Lytle comes across and back after the 22 car hit him. Poor Matthew Weeks thought he had a good run there.
I'll tell you this, if I'm Matthew, I'm pretty frustrated that my teammate in the 22 just went with the enemy.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, you're racing that guy to get in, and you just went with him.
To counteract that, maybe you're thinking your best shot is to go around him so you can beat him later on.
I don't know. If I'm the 22 in that spot, I'm not racing the 11. I'm cool running behind the 11 because the 11 is not going to knock me out of the Daytona 500.
Watch the 70 car as the
Wow. Wow. That was bobbing and weaving.
That was
Tyler Fody spun around in this. Rucker, Trey Holmes. Matthew just spun. Matthew's pretty clean. Not sure where he'll restart, but Matthew's pretty clean.
As perfect as it gets there for Jesse Rasmus, but yeah, from an open driver perspective though, this certainly shakes things up. As Matthew Weeks already locked in the event as a charter driver, but Latham Joyner leads the way over David Tooker, over Colin Kolpa, over Tim Robb. Your top 4 drivers, all of them open. Brent Jones, one of our chartered guys. Jeff Green also chartered. Rasmus chartered. Personette, Matthew Weeks, and then a number of guys coming down pit road there to fix some damage. So, yeah, this could be interesting on this final lap with the top 4 guys again, all being racing for that one final spot.
I think Ryan Gavel is going to get the lucky dog right here.
I believe, weren't we just talking about that 57 car?
Yeah, now he's up here with the shot to race in. Brent Jones is up to 5th. Something has just happened in here.
We will be right back for the restart here. You're watching duel number 2 for the JoinAPS.com Cup Series. welcome back here. Getting set for the second attempt at a green-white checker. Latham Joyner and David Tooker, top two on the rolling board, and also on the chance to get into the Daytona 500. Who will make their dream a reality here? Green flag back out. Will we make it back around?
Yeah, I'm surprised Latham picked the bottom here instead of the top. It looks like that top's going to roll.
Yeah, David Tooker and Tim Robb, but I believe Tim gets to the bottom of David Tooker there, and I was just going to say Tim has maneuverability with new tires.
Here we go. 3-1, Jeff.
Come on, guys.
We're wrecking. Oh, and
There
everybody
they
in the
go.
front.
The entire field
And this
flying.
is going to end the race. That flag's going to end the race.
Wow.
I believe, right?
No, that
Maybe
was
we
the
have one more.
second attempt.
Oh, the 57 is destroyed down here.
Do we have one more?
I believe we have one more.
Was that the third attempt?
No,
the
that
second.
was the second
Okay, so we do
attempt.
have one more. We have one more.
My goodness. And Garrison Hogan, winner of the Daytona 500 last year, right? I believe it was the 22 last season, yes.
I told you. 3 more
is-
cautions. We're in this. That's number 3, right?
Yeah, you did say that. I'm a man of my words. I know when to admit defeat.
I think what happened there was Josh Personette tried to go up the middle. I just don't think there was room there. He's gonna make
But-
contact with Jeff Green, and Jeff Green is gonna turn down into the 57, and he's gonna come back. It's like dominoes here. He's gonna come back and catch the 19.
I was going to say, how do you wreck 3 cars in front of you?
And then Latham's down there, Jeff's down there. The 57 is spinning in front of everybody. 64, the 40, the 11
The
getting
11
involved.
car gets caught up in that. 40 gets caught up in that.
The 84. The 70 thought he
Wyatt
was through, and he's going to hit
Knievel,
the 40.
you had mentioned.
Jeff Green,
Wow.
David Tooker. John
A
Cutler
lot
looks
of
like
good
he gets through
cars.
it.
I think they've managed to wreck every car out here tonight, boys.
I was most impressed with how the 57 car of Tim Robb was able to get down and pass David Tooker there out of turn 2, but
Oh, big
obviously
story
it
here, too.
went for not.
Because of the timing of the caution and the way iRacing
Joyner.
scoring has worked, Latham is still the leader.
Although, is
I
that
don't know
car
how,
damaged?
but Latham's the leader.
We saw that car get damaged, though.
It looks like it's going to be Latham, Garrison, Colin, Brent, Andrew Rucker, Tyler Fody, Weeks, Wyatt, Rory, and Joe are going to be the top 10. Casey Hatch and Ryan Gavel got the last 2 lucky dogs here in the first 2 green-white checkers. And they're now up to 12th and 13th.
I'm not so sure that 3 car is not heavily damaged, but you just need to make it. We haven't been able to make it to the white flag. If he can be the first car out front, if the yellow were to fall again, it could grant him a berth in the Daytona 500.
I hope we get to see a full green-white checkered here. I'd like to see him finish with the checker flag. I'm curious to see. I'm pulling for Casey Hatch and Ryan Gavel to get lucky dogs there on those first 2 green-white checkers. I'd like to see one of them win it. Wouldn't that be a story? Get the lucky dog there on the second green-white checkered and then winning the race. But a couple of our front runners are pretty destroyed now. We talked about Cutlip earlier. He's fixing damage on pit road. Personette's parked on pit road. Jeff Green's down there. Chad is down there. He's got a bunch of damage. David Tooker seems okay, but he lost all his track position.
Will you be able to make up a sizable amount of positions there if you were to pit and take tires there, Chris? Do you think it'll
I
help?
don't think so. I don't think they have any left either. You only got one set to put on the car tonight, so we started with
Okay.
two, one on the car and one in the pits. So I imagine by this point everybody's put them on. But as far as being able to work your way through the traffic, I looked at the end of that first race. I believe Michael Goodman was, I think, 14th at the white flag, and he finished 5th. So you can move from the back to the front in a lap because everybody's going to take every run and just be able to make the right choice, right? You know, the lucky choice, the right choice, however you want to look at it, luck, skill, or a little mixture of both on the last lap, and you can find yourself going forward.
Well, this will be the final attempt, and it's the third and final attempt. That 3 car is wounded. Can it hang on?
Driver's going to drive it. I'll tell you that. Latham's going to drive it and see if it can. We've got Brent Jones up here. He hasn't been up here. The 06 hasn't been up here. The 22, if he can get any kind of help, I think he'll be all right. But I do like Latham taking the top here, protecting that right rear. Matthew Weeks still has a shot. Fody. I mean, Tate Lytle's very clean back there. I think Tate needs, both the laps to try to move forward. Because I do think that we're going to see some guys with severe damage not be able. I think that 06 has got a pretty good amount of front end damage. Latham, that car looks pretty hurt. So I think we're going to see some stack ups. It's just about being able to navigate it.
Alrighty.
Are you guys nervous or are you guys excited?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous these guys aren't quite going to be able to make it all the way to the end of this.
I'm nervous for that 3 car there. You don't want to get too far ahead, but he gets out to a stellar restart, but that 22 is going to try and ditch him as soon as he can.
22 gives him a push instead. Brent Jones has got help from the 11. The 06 is looking to go to the top. He's going to pull all the way to the top. Oh, he pushed Latham sideways. They're going to be okay for now.
Ooh.
Look at this inside lane.
Oh my goodness. Will they make it down the back stretch?
Got this from Copa.
The 03.
Look at that run to the inside. It's a little bit of a side draft.
The 06.
Tate's going to go through the middle. I told you guys, Tate looks like he had a pretty clean car. Oh, we're going to wreck. Is it going to stay green?
I think we're going to have
He's
to.
off the track.
White flag in the win. 1 lap to go here at Daytona.
Oh, Tate, careful there. Oh, we got a lot of cars wrecking. They're going to try to keep it green,
cars
but
to decide it.
It's Latham Joyner or Garrison Hogan are going to probably be the two that it's decided between. You got Tate Lytle with an outside shot, but realistically, it's these 2 guys. Who's going to have it? Latham Joyner all over the place off the back straightaway.
Garrison gave him a shove in turn 2.
There goes Brent Jones on the bottom. Latham's going to have 2 teammates lined up behind him now. 3 teammates if Tate gets there. Latham's going to have to make a big block here at the right time.
Oh,
he's got the group now.
2 has not gotten around him yet. That 3 car has been able to save. Here comes Garrison.
Latham Joyner has it.
Wow! Latham hangs on to win duel number 2 at Daytona. He'll be rewarded with a berth into the Daytona 500 next week. Wow, what a finish. How about the 11 car, Matthew Weeks? I thought he was going to steal one.
I thought those 2 were going to take each other out, and Tate Lytle would be awarded with it.
Yeah, and it looks like there was a little bit of net code. Like the 22 tried to come up and side draft, and he just net coded him a little bit. But that net code saved Latham because the 22 was going to make that pass. He didn't have to come back to get that side draft.
Yeah. Latham doing an excellent job in that 03 car. He had a tall order to try and race his way in, and now for the 2nd race in a row, we've had an open car win the duel race.
And remember, Ryan Gavel got the lucky dog on the last green-white checkered attempt there, and he's going to finish 6th.
Burn it down there, Latham. Good job, man. I didn't think that 03 car was going to be able to do it because I thought it was heavily wounded in the wreck beforehand.
What a finish, boys.
He was able to make some stellar moves, some stellar blocks. He had to keep the car underneath him, especially with the shove the 22 car was giving him there, right, Rish?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, the 22 car was not going to give in on that. Yeah, great job by Latham to hang on to that as well. Yeah, I mean, pretty much the finish I more or less expected there, bringing it over to the line.
Well,
That
see,
race was
we
crazy, boys.
get a word with him, but yes. What does that mark for you as far as the Daytona 500 next week there, Chris?
Well, I think it's going to be a lot different next Sunday, or next Wednesday, sorry. It's going to be a day race. The cars are going to slide around quite a bit more, and I think you're going to have quite a bit more give and take. This was a very short race. People racing to get in, kind of just a race to win. I think we're going to be a little bit more tame, a little bit more like the first race tonight, which, if I take anything away from this, I'm glad I was in the first duel and not the second duel.
Trying to have your wits about you.
I feel like we learned a little bit more in the first duel than these guys did. These guys had a lot of cautions, a lot of craziness. I feel like we learned a little bit more about what a car is going to do over the course of the run and what moves are going to work and what aren't than a lot of these guys did out here in the second duel.
All right, I see him in the waiting room. Let's bring him in.
Okay.
Oh, Latham, I think we caught you maybe mid-talk with Garrison there, but congratulations, man. You are going to be running in the Daytona 500 next week. How does that feel?
Yeah, a whole lot better than last year. We didn't make it last year, and I ran good in the trucks and Xfinity and felt like I deserved a spot. And then I ran that 5 early in qualifying and I missed it by 1 spot in qualifying, so it just feels good to actually get into it.
Were you sweating bullets there that next to last caution? It looked like your car was heavily wounded. Were you surprised you were given the lead and then ultimately able to hang on?
Yeah, I was surprised they gave me the lead back. They, of course, I got hit. I don't know who hit me in the door, but it chased me all the way down to the grass, and I just stayed in until the yellow came out. And then as soon as the yellow came out, I just slid all the way through the grass. And I thought I was going to be like 3rd or 4th or something. It gave me the lead back, and I was like, there's no way I'm in the leader. And then Garrison and me made a deal that he would just push me to the end there, and he did. So it just feels good to have somebody like Garrison, who's so good at plate racing, probably the best one in the series, or at least in that race, in my opinion. Him and Fody are both pretty good. To have help like that and know that he's going to work with you all the way basically until the start-finish line.
That's exactly what it looked like there, Rish. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, man. I mean, just a great job hanging on there at the end there. It looked like Garrison maybe thought about having to go just coming to the line, but did a good job defending. And, yeah, man, all I can say is congratulations, especially surviving that one. It was pretty hectic. I don't know if you tuned in to Duel 1, but it was a very different story in that one versus what you just went through.
Yeah, I think I wrecked twice. I was 20-something on lap 38, I believe, and I was trying to go 3 wide and stuff, and I eventually got all the way up there, I think, on lap 45 to the lead. So I had a pretty eventful race. I had a minute of damage, so crazy that I was actually able to win it.
All right there, Latham. Want to give you the chance to shout out anyone and anything you'd like here as the winner of Duel number 2.
Yeah, I haven't done an interview in a while, but obviously I want to thank Diamond Speed Lab, my team. I want to thank Lowe's for their sponsor, Elite Cuts by Josh Evans, Charger Racing Chassis for real life stuff, and my Twitch, which is Waffum on Twitch. So we streamed the race tonight, about a 4-hour stream. Streamed the Duel 1 with y'all's broadcast. Y'all did a great job there, and I'm sure y'all did a great job in this one too.
Thank you. We try. All righty. Duel 2 is in the books there, Rasav. Want to make a quick reminder to everyone that the Daytona 500 will begin at 7:30, I believe, next Wednesday. And we hope to have you there, Ish, maybe come in for a stage. But I think we are gonna send it back home. We want to thank everyone for joining us. Hope you guys have a great night, and we'll see you next week for the Daytona 500.